Is there? Is that better? I think that's better. I got a new microphone since the last time I streamed. So I Yeah, welcome back. Hello, Mikey. I got a new microphone since the last time I streamed. Not well since the last time I did the Bengals game. Obviously not for the podcast yesterday. Go away, Terry Bradshaw. There's obviously I had the whole setup correct for the podcast yesterday, but since the last time I streamed, which I was very rudely reminded earlier that the Bengals got shut out in that game, but since the last time I streamed, I got a new microphone, so it was still set up to connect to the old microphone, which is why I was muted, and that's stupid. Mikey says we shucking tonight. Okay. He playing Titans? I mean, yeah, he'd probably win that game. It's the freaking Titans. So, yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. That, like I want to make it clear on the podcast. I said that I still feel like the Bengals have a brighter future than the Saints, despite the fact that our seasons have gone virtually the same. Because, yes, you have a quarterback, great, but we have Joe Burrow, so there's that. But I do want to make it clear, I do think Tyler Shuck is the guy for you guys, and I think that you guys are going to be more competitive going forward. So, yeah, I don't want to sit here and say that I don't think that Tyler Shuck is going to be any good. I think he's going to be. He seems to have proven to me that he's got what it takes. But I'm not, expecting the Saints to be regularly at the top of the league every year, right? Nor do I think you think that, but obviously you're gonna have fun with it. Connor says, "What's up?" Obviously I was muted, not muted anymore. Bengals 24-21, Saints 23-17. See, the reason I've got such an outsized prediction here is because it's just it feels like a very Bengals thing to beat the bad teams when the games don't matter, and just look like you're absolutely destroying everybody when the games don't matter. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the Bengals to go out here and not just take care of business, but be like, yeah, look at us, we're the Bengals. Better watch out for us next year. That's such a common thing to happen in the life of being a Bengals fan, is they really turn it on when it's over. So that's why I think it's going to be the score it's going to be. If we can build around Shuck, we can easily compete for the South. Oh, yes, absolutely. I think if you can, I definitely think that he's going to be good enough that you guys could be competitive in the NFC South again. I'm not even saying you can't win a Super Bowl with him, because I said for years, but he's going to be your Andy Dalton, right? That's my prediction. Which means you can compete, and you can possibly make the playoffs with him in the future. It's going to be, better than it's been for sure. And I think you could win a Super Bowl theoretically with him. But I wouldn't put you guys in you guys are going to win the Super Bowl. You guys are most likely going to win the Super Bowl at some time with Tyler Shuck at quarterback. It could happen. I think he's good enough, and if you build around him, that could be good enough. But I wouldn't say that it would be something I would bet on. If that makes sense. Maybe you could bet on it. I think he's closer to just a guy than the guy. I disagree. I think he's closer to the guy than just a guy. But in the same way that I felt the same way about Andy Dalton, right? I felt like Andy Dalton wasn't the guy, but he was a lot closer to being the guy than just being some random guy. When he was in Cincinnati. Now he's pretty much just a guy. But early in his career, he was, he was pretty good. You could win a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. They didn't. They didn't win a playoff game with Andy Dalton, but they could have, if he doesn't get hurt in 2015, I think there's a realistic shot that they could have gone all the way. Didn't, but I feel like he could have. I do think he's the future. That's what they said about Dalton, too. Dalton was the future. Dalton was, we put together a good, solid half a decade with Andy Dalton. And things kind of fell apart after that. I wouldn't say that was necessarily Andy Dalton's fault. But that's what I'm saying the same thing about Andy Dalton. I said at the time, if you build a team around Dalton, you can do great things. And they did build a team, and then they let the team fall apart. And Andy Dalton wasn't good enough to keep you going after that. But Andy Dalton was good enough to be... He was good enough to be the guy. He wasn't always the guy. And you needed other people on the team to be the guy, other than just the quarterback with Andy Dalton. But Andy Dalton could be the guy enough to get you where you need to go. If you capture lightning in a bottle correctly. Unfortunately, they were never able to do that for long enough to capitalize fully. But Andy Dalton was, I've said this before on this channel. I will not hear any Andy Dalton slander. I will hear that he was not elite by any means, but in 2015 he was approaching elite, and then he got hurt, and things were just really never the same again. But yeah, I will not hear any slander of Andy Dalton on this channel. The prophecy states 2028 Super Bowl champs for the Saints. Nope. The prophecy's wrong. Sorry. Dalton had no killer instinct. That's such a... that's not a thing. He had no killer instinct. Every person who makes it to the NFL has a killer instinct. That's how you get to the NFL in the first place. He wasn't good enough to elevate the team beyond the caliber that the team was at, but he was good enough, I feel, to, if the team was already elevated to a certain caliber, he was good enough to get them to play as well as the guys around him, essentially, is what my opinion of Andy Dalton was. And maybe could be today. It's hard to tell because Andy Dalton's just been in a lot of bad situations since, he hasn't been in a good situation since he left the Bengals, right? The Saints obviously were rebuilding. The Panthers were still in the process of rebuilding when he got chances there. The Cowboys were, without Dak, it just doesn't work. The last time Andy Dalton was in a good position, arguably, was, I probably 2016, and then the season collapsed after that. But arguably, Andy Dalton hasn't. It's hard to say where Andy Dalton's at in his career right now because he has just not been surrounded by the right talent to really make it work. Saints Bengals Super Bowl 2028 incoming, yeah, but we're gonna win that one. You see, we're gonna win that one. See, Perna said the Titans 2028 Super Bowl preview. I'm sure he did. That sounds like a Perna thing to say. I would not take too many things that Perna says seriously, though. Andy was way too quick to throw it away. He got like that near the end of his career, but I think he was that's a good trait to have, to be willing to throw it away. Look at Joe Flacco. You know, he kept the game. He kept the team in some situations in the game where I really wish Joe Burrow would have had that ability to know when to throw it away and not take a 15-yard sack that kills the drive. You know, Joe Flacco. I think showed Joe Burrow that helps the offense run when you know when to give up on certain plays. And it's not that Joe Burrow's doing that all the time. He still likes to play hero ball, but I feel that he's a little bit more picky with when he chooses to make those decisions. We had Dalton in 22, yeah, and you guys were not in a good spot in 22, so that wasn't. I don't feel that it's fair to evaluate who Andy Dalton is right now based on anything that's happened since he left the Bengals. Like, you know, you could even argue that, like, 2019 wasn't a fair comparison for Andy Dalton. Also, I want to walk back what I said earlier. I said the last time Andy Dalton was in a good position was in 2016. I think 2018 was the last time he was in a good position because they did get off to a decent start and then they completely collapsed. But wasn't consistently a good situation all year, but it was a decent situation in 2018, and that was the last time that you can really evaluate Andy Dalton as like, is he any good or not, right? You can evaluate him as a backup, you can evaluate him as a spot starter, and you know whatever now, but he hasn't been in a situation where you can really say whether Andy Dalton is like, you know, still as good as he once had the potential of being. You know, prophecy said Saints winning. That's nice for the prophecy, but I have a different prophecy. My prophecy is that the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and that's 2028. So your prophecy's wrong. And then the year after that, the Bengals are going to be the first four-peat of all time. Yeah, that's how it's going to work. Saints game gotta go. All right. Well, good luck to your team. Hope you beat the Titans, which you will. Don't get me wrong, because I think Andy is an incredible human, but I couldn't be happier he's not my QB anymore. Well, I also agree that I couldn't be happier that he's not the Bengals quarterback anymore. But it's because Joe Burrow is our quarterback, right? Like, I would take Andy Dalton over. Like Andy Dalton to me is still arguably a better option to have at quarterback than, you know, I mean, it's definitely not a good long-term idea to have Andy Dalton be your long-term guy anymore because he's just old at this point. But I do feel that I would rather have Andy Dalton than let's list of NFL starting quarterbacks. Because we got, I think, a few minutes before this game starts. So I'd rather have Andy Dalton than anybody they got in Arizona. No question. I'd rather have Andy Dalton than arguably anything in Atlanta. The only thing is, like, is Michael Penix going to be somebody who they're going to try to develop? And is that going to maybe potentially kind of work out? I wouldn't want Andy Dalton over a guy you can develop, right? But I'd rather have him over Kirk Cousins right now. Who knows what's going on with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? I don't want to speculate because I just got burned for weeks with all that Joe Burrow speculation that, you know, it turned out to be just as BS as I said it was going to be. Obviously Josh Allen. I think what we're seeing this year, I'd rather have Bryce Young than Andy Dalton. So they're doing the right thing by playing Bryce. Caleb Williams, obviously. Joe Burrow. It's kind of 50-50 with Shadur Sanders. I think just because Shadur has potential, I think you go with Shadur over Andy. Again, Andy's, 34, 35, somewhere around that. Like, you know, he's not a guy you're going to commit to building around at this point. Dak Prescott, I think you'd take Dak because he's at the moment he's the guy, and he had a really good season this year, so I can't really argue against that. But I mean, so far that's 1, 2, so that's 2 teams, and then maybe 3 if you're counting Shadur. All right, hold on. The Bengals are going to get the ball first. It's going to be returned from near the end zone, and that is 12, Williams, who I don't even know who that is, but he has a pretty standard return. So that is what it is. Bengals roster. Probably ought to pull that up so I know who I'm talking about with these players, right? Number 12 is Keyshawn Williams. Is a rookie wide receiver out of Indiana. So that would explain why I don't know who he is. Okay, Keyshawn Williams on the return. Joe Burrow's going to come out shotgun formation, and he's going to take the snap. Looking around, he's going to scramble out to the left of the pocket and almost throws a pick, but luckily it's dropped. Man, first play of the game. That's not a good way to start. I'll go through some of these quarterback situations later, but I've already got 3 teams. I've got 2 teams I'd definitely take Andy Dalton over, and a third that maybe you could argue with the Browns. If you want to, but why bother watching this? Your sorry ass Bengals. They beat another team. What's the point? Because it's football. Do you not like football, Jim? What do you mean? This is football. You watch your football team. That's the whole point of do you not like football? Anyway, Chase Brown's going to take the handoff, and he gets about a yard. I got a yard and a half. I don't know, but not really a whole lot there. Took to the left side, but yeah, Jim. What do you mean? If you don't like football, then why bother with football? I quit on my Vikings in the season finale. Okay, that's your prerogative, but are you just not gonna watch football? This is my team. I'm gonna watch football because I like watching football. If you don't like football, why you bother watching in the first place? Joe Burrow throws short. He's got Tanner Hudson, and that's going to be a first down. Picks up about 11 yards or so because he was wide open. I don't know why the Cardinals let him get that wide open, but that works out for me. Go Bengals. Andy Dalton equals grilled cheese sandwich. Grilled cheese sandwich is pretty solid. In a pinch, I wouldn't build my whole meal plan around it at this point. But when I was years ago when I was younger, and that's the best I had, I absolutely, happy to have a grilled cheese sandwich is one of the staple foundations of my meal plan. All right, so this one's going to be a dump off to Drew Sample, and it's a nice little play by Sample to get a little bit open there. I think is that Baron Browning? Didn't realize he was with the Cardinals. No, he's with the Dolphins, isn't he? It's somebody else on the Cardinals named Browning. Oh, it is Baron Browning. Okay, I swear to God, I thought he was with the Dolphins. Okay, never mind then. All right, 2nd and 2 from the 49-yard line. Joe Burrow's going to motion Jamar Chase out to the left side, and that's going to be just a handoff to Chase Brown. Not a whole lot there, but that is going to be enough for a first down, about a 3-yard rush. The Bengals are moving the ball. Dalton Journeyman won how many playoff games? 0. I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they could have made it work in 2015. But obviously 2011, 2012, they were kind of, out of their depth. I don't know what the hell happened in 2013. That was I think it was a lot of injuries and stuff. That was garbage. 2014, I don't really have an analysis for you. 2015, they should have gotten going, but Dalton got hurt. And, I think he was a little bit better than A.J. McCarron. Joe Burrow's going to wind up after the shotgun snap. He throws, got Tee Higgins, but it gets knocked out by number 29 there. It's a good play by the Cardinals because that would have been a bomb. That was Denzel Burke, the rookie cornerback out of Ohio State, making the play to knock that ball out because Tee Higgins burned him, but luckily for him, he stayed on that play and did a good enough job to knock that ball out. Good job by him. Unfortunate for the Bengals. Aints versus Titans, more like who gives a shit game of the week. Mikey gives a shit. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's the main one. There's the Jets the Jets and the Raiders, right? All right, that looked like a lot of pass interference from my perspective. Joe Burrow scrambling out to the right side and trying to find Andre Yoshivas. Can't find him. Might have been a little overthrown. Maybe that's why they. No. I don't know. He's obstructing his arms. I don't. Whatever. I think that's pass interference, but whatever. All right, 3rd and 10. Got 12:04 left to go in the first quarter. From the 45-ish yard line, Joe Burrow's going to take the shotgun snap, rolls back, got a clean pocket, throws, got Jamar Chase. There you go, picks up the first down. About, it looked like about 20 yards or so to me. That was a nice little slant route there by Jamar Chase. Got right past Johnson, and it was over at that point. It was an accurate throw by Joe Burrow, right to the spot where it needed to be. But either way, Will Johnson, rookie cornerback out of Michigan. A lot of Big Ten cornerbacks on this team, apparently. But, yeah, good play by Jamar Chase to get open there. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He throws, caught. It's Jamar Chase again, and he makes a spin, but is not able to evade Will Johnson's tackle there. So it's going to be about a 5-yard gain. You see what I texted you, right? I did see that you texted me. Give me one sec. I forgot to reply to that. Oh, there you are. Damn it. Perna cursed us to oblivion, so I doubt it. What did I say? Mike Vrabel announces these 7 players will not play versus the Jets. Oh, you guys are playing the Jets. Well, somebody else was playing the Raiders. I forget who it was. Give me a handoff to Chase Brown. Picks up about 3 yards before he's taken down. Not wasn't really a whole lot there. Going to be missing Kayshon Boutte, Jared Wilson, Mac Hollins, Chris Tonga, Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, Milton Williams. And then you got Pop Douglas and Travion Henderson questionable. So you guys, I don't know. I mean, like, how much you guys still playing for? I guess. I mean, you still need to win the division, right? Like that hasn't been completely wrapped up. So I guess I get the concern. But 3rd and 2, it's gonna be a handoff to Pirine, and he bounces around. Doesn't pick up a whole lot, but does pick up about 2.5 yards for the first down, and the Bengals offense continues moving the ball. There you go. And after all that effort, they are finally roughly about in the spot they would have been if Tee Higgins had managed to hold on to that bomb from Burrow. It's cool with me. Cool with me. Because it's first down, and we are knocking on the door of the end zone here. So, barring disaster, we're at least going to get a field goal. From the 8.5 yard line, Mitchell Tinsley is going to motion out to the right side. Joe Burrow is going to throw it short, quick to Jamar Chase, who breaks a tackle, makes a man miss, spins, and he moves, and I think there's calling it a touchdown. I think he might have been a little short personally, but let's see on the replay. That was 2 broken tackles, one of which was a nice little spin move, and the last one was diving through a tackle, and maybe that ball did cross the plane. It looked like it was going to be short to me, but we'll see. All right, so there's the broken tackle. There's the spin on Hall. And yeah, okay, I think he did get it. I think he did fall. He kept his knees up long enough, I think, to go across the line there. Let's see, and it's hard to tell from that angle. I don't know if there's a good camera angle to overturn this, and I don't think the Cardinals are going to bother to challenge it, so we're going to call it a touchdown. Ed McPherson's coming out. The kick is up, and that's good. It was pushed a little left, but he got it. All right. Well, there we go. All right. I am going to go pee for the D real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Angry water. Because the Bengals need to play angry. Regardless of the fact that, there's no, playoff implications or anything at this point. You need to play angry and build for next year. That is going to be a touchback for the Bengals. Well, for the Cardinals. Okay. So the Bengals kicking the ball away after the 7-0. We're up 7-0 since Dre and Trey carry them with the run game. So I guess, okay, so it looks like Trey is indeed playing, so that's good for him. But anyway, the Cardinals get the ball at the 35-yard line after that ball went out of bounds. And it's going to be a handoff from Jacoby Brissett to Michael Carter. And nice little block by Jacoby Brissett to make sure Michael Carter didn't get tackled in the backfield there. Because it looked like Myles Murphy might have had a chance to get him. But Jacoby Brissett gets in the way and allows him to pick up 2 or 3 yards instead of losing about 5, which is what it looked like the Bengals defense was going to do there. Tell Mikey good luck on the garbage bowl day. I already did. And then there's the Raiders game today, battle for the first overall pick. Yeah, the Raiders, I thought it was the Jets, but I guess it's not. The Giants, that's who it is, the other New York team. It's going to be another handoff to, I believe it was Michael Carter, yeah it was, and the Bengals only give him about a yard or two. So, as I've been saying, there's been some development on this defense. Now, against the Dolphins and against the Cardinals right now, but they've been playing a little better in general. At least the young guys have. Not all the guys have, but, some of the young guys have been playing better. You've been seeing Demetrius Knight and, to some extent, Barrett Carter. I've told y'all how I feel about that, but, kind of meaningless now, but it does matter for next year, and that's going to be just a complete overthrow from Jacoby Brissett. Looks like he ended up on the ground, so maybe he just had to rush that throw. But he was aiming for Wilson on the throw, and DJ Turner was in coverage, but didn't really need to do a whole lot there because he just it was a missed opportunity for Jacoby Brissett. All right, so the Cardinals now going to punt 4th and 4. So the Bengals defense does their jobs, which is nice. Wish they could have done that against the fucking Jets, but guess not. This is improvement, right? Because I know it's against the Cardinals, but remember what the Bengals defense did against the New York Jets. So, I mean, if that's any indication that the Bengals defense has improved, at least these bad teams, we aren't dropping, letting them drop almost 40 points on us, right? That's improvement. It feels like the barest of standards, but that's where we're kind of at with how this defense has been this year. Videos of Nintendo, NFL, Paris Hilton, Jennifer Connelly, 18 of my card collection, and more in my channel. There you go. Go check out Jim's channel, everybody. Bengals playing a 3-win team, big whoop. Yeah, but it's really not about the opponent. It's just about building momentum, and and the other thing is, as I just said about the defense, it's not really about who they're playing right now. It's about the fact that they've played the worst of the worst this year and gotten blown out. The defense has. The defense has just gotten absolutely embarrassed by the worst of the worst this year. So the fact that they're playing good at all that's something to pay attention to, right? They're doing it without Trey Hendrickson, which is big because you got Myles Murphy stepping up. Joseph Osai has kind of stepped up here and there, but Myles Murphy stepping up is big because we really need our draft picks to hit because they have not been hitting, and a lot of it's been due to lack of development for Lou Anarumo, but Al Golden has been developing guys. So the hope is that there is real, genuine reason to believe that next year the defense should be better. Now, we're going to, we can't stand on our laurels. We can't let, for example, the secondary, we got to bring in some help for the secondary because, DJ Turner's playing well, but I do not want another season where we're relying on Jordan Battle and Geno Stone to hold down the position, and then got to get Tyson Anderson in there because we just need something else, right? Like that's we need secondary help. That's why I want Mansour Delane or Caleb Downs. Obviously Caleb Downs is a bit of a pipe dream, but if possible, Caleb Downs. But my realistic hope is that we get Mansour Delane. See about that. What up, y'all? Great to see the good guys score first. Now it's up to the defense to stop perennial backup Jacoby Brissett from getting his cards in the end zone. That is true. Bengals don't typically do well against backup quarterbacks. So, they did well on that first drive. First drive went well. But I will say, Brissett misfired. It didn't really have a whole lot to do with the Bengals defense. It had more to do with Brissett just missing his guy. The Raiders exist same with the Browns last 20 years. Pretty much. I think they've at least made the playoffs, though. Joe Burrow going to play action pass, scramble out to his right side, and he hasn't anywhere to go with the ball. He tries to run, gets a couple of yards. Slides, though, doesn't take a hit. That's good to see. So it's only going to be about a 3-yard pickup, but, better than nothing, and he doesn't take a hit either. Parker Washington hit them with the Cena "you can't see me" after getting the first. Go Jags. I don't even remember who the Jags are playing, but yeah, go Jags. I've said it before, but I think the Jaguars are the team that I would generally root for with the Bengals out of it. I'm not going to really commit to a second team. I like rooting for storylines and stuff, but the Jaguars are probably my go-to team if the Bengals are out of it. That's a nice pass to Samaje Perine. It's a quick floater from Joe Burrow, but Samaje Perine manages to run with good angles and get to the outside enough to pick up that first down. There you go. Just waiting for the Eagles versus Bills and tonight Bears versus 49ers games that are actually worth watching. That Bears 49ers game is going to be good. The Eagles-Bills game, I think, has the potential to be good, but it also has the potential to suck, too, to be honest with you. They fumbled, getting cute for the extra yardage. What I get for rooting for the Jags to beat the Colts. What do you need to, I don't know. Whatever. Going to be a handoff, pick about 8 yards, but it looks like there was a flag on the Bengals, so that's probably coming back. Holding on the Bengals. That run's coming back, but it's going to be a replay of first down, so, not the end of the world. The Cardinals are a worse Chiefs. Instead of winning close games like they did last year, they lose them constantly. Yeah. Sort of. They've also been blown out a decent amount, too. Which is part of where I got the score prediction. I just picked one of the scores that the Cardinals had earlier this year. 44-22. I forget which team that was, but they lost the game 44-22. That, I believe, is offsides on the Cardinals. They did throw a flag. We'll see if they actually get the call correct, but to me it looked like it was offsides on the Cardinals. Or at least neutral zone infraction. Okay, it is. They are calling offsides on the Cardinals, so I'm glad I'm not crazy. And it's going to be a repeat of first down, so the holding penalty basically gets erased, essentially, is what happens there. Dear God, no more Geno Talc. I would love if we could get rid of Geno Stone, dude. He's awful. Yards after plays, Patriots 9, Jets have 3. 3 times. Yep. Patriots reach Super Bowl. We should boycott it. Please no. Bills, Broncos. I wouldn't mind the Patriots. I'm not anti-Patriots like a lot of y'all are. I got nothing against the Patriots. I think I'd be okay with the Patriots winning a Super Bowl. Burrow throws. He's got Tee Higgins, and that's going to be about a 10-yard pickup. So I was wrong. It actually did not. The offsides was only 5 yards, not 10 yards. So the Bengals had it in 1st and 15. So it's a 10-yard game, but it's still going to be 2nd and 5 after all that. So basically, after all that, the holding penalty nets the Bengals a total of negative 1 yard or 2 yards after all that. So it's 2nd and 5 where it was originally going to be 2nd and, I think, 3 maybe. Going to be a handoff to Chase Brown, who makes a nice cut, makes a guy miss, and gets eventually tackled by Hall, number 30. Got too many guys named Hall on this team. Darren Hall, fourth-year cornerback out of San Diego State. They just got too many players named Hall on their team. That's their issue. It's just confusing. That's why they're losing all these games, because they're just confused as to who's supposed to make what read. Because Jonathan Gannon's out there like, Hall, go over here! Hall, go over here! And then they're like, wait, I don't know which Hall do you mean? That's probably what it is, guys. Like, it's probably the logical explanation for the Cardinals being bad this year. That's the only thing I can think of. All right, it's going to be a play-action pass from shotgun Joe Burrow. He's going to throw. He's got Jamar Chase. That is really intense, tight coverage by Johnson, Will Johnson, number 0. But I think that he's going to get called for pass interference. So I thought he might. I'm not as insistent on this one, but pass interference on the Cardinals. So that's going to be another first down for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, that's the team we're gonna cheer to victory. Touchdown Bengals, get some points up on that board and win a game that doesn't matter. That's what it feels like, man. Bengals are historically great in games that don't matter. Alright, it's gonna be a handoff. Chase Brown gets basically nothing on that one. Cardinals stuff him. Browns lead 10-0 against the Steelers. Go, Browns! Let's go! Gotta get the Ravens. I mean, I understand Ravens. You don't want them to win the division 3 times in a row. I think Stranger's the one who was saying that. I get it. But fuck the Steelers. I do not care about narrative if it involves the Steelers. Just don't, let the Ravens have it, especially with all the Lamar Jackson drama. Let him have it, man. All right, it's going to be a throw to Andre Yoshivas, and he's open enough that it doesn't really take a whole lot. That's going to be, what's the cutback route there? And that's going to be another first down. I think he got about 13 on that play. 12. He got 12 on that play. So it's going to Bengals going to have the ball at about the 23-yard line, I think, is where that is. Kyle, you are on mute. I only read the comments. Okay, Jim. That's nice. Then why bother talking to me then if you're going to be on mute? Joe Burrow throws. He's got Yoshi, who makes a nice little move there to get out of 2 tackles. Picks up a first down. I mean, he didn't really get a whole lot out of those moves, but it got enough for a first down. That's good. And Jim, I know I'm on mute right now, so I can't imagine you're even going to hear what I have to say. But, I will say, if you put me on mute sometimes and you're just letting me know that you're putting me on mute, that's one thing. Sometimes the way you say it sounds like you're just, you're going to talk shit without, even hearing the response. So, I don't know. I don't want to be just assume what you're doing, but that if that is the case, that's why I get annoyed about it, because it's like, that's kind of punk behavior. But if you're just doing it sometimes, then I guess that is what it is. It's gonna be a throw to Tee Higgins on the right side, and he had to take a little tough for him to secure that one, but he does eventually secure it. He gets out of bounds for about a 5-yard gain. Keep showing those Dolphins game highlights. Need something to feel good about. I know the season's over, but I just, winning games is fun. I don't give a shit. I do give a shit if things are on the line, but if things aren't on the line, I still want to win games, just to be absolutely clear. Need the Colts to win. Why I'm rooting for the Jags. I want them to keep the first spot between us and Denver. Okay, that's fair enough then. That's a valid, absolutely valid reason. I didn't even think about that, Richard, but fair enough. All right, so it's going to be another handoff. Chase Brown picks up about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 2 after that. Bengals offense continues to move the ball. And if we can keep this up all game, I might not be wrong about that 44-point scoreline. Why Hurricane Mike is even bothering is beyond me. Aints are the worst 4 teams NFL teams since the 2022 season. Well, yeah, but I think the difference is they've got some hope right now. There's something to maybe next year it'll be better. And I think that he's just watching for the hope, essentially, is what he's doing. Chase Brown takes the handoff. I think he might have gotten the first down, but it depends on where the refs spot it because he had to basically move the pile to get where he wanted to go. I don't know if he got it, but we'll see. PI for sure. Yeah, I didn't think it was as egregious as the last one, but, that's fair. Yeah, you got Pirine. I was about to say, I don't know if he got it based off of that angle. 4th and 1, and the Bengals offense is out on the field, and I pretty much agree with this. Like, you're in control of this game. It's the first quarter. Joe Burrow, they're going to push, and he gets it. He might have even, I don't think he got the touchdown, but he definitely got close. So, Bengals going to get the ball at the 1-yard line. I go for it on 4th. Yeah, like in this situation, like if you're kind of controlling the game, defense has come out, they play well, offense has been playing well. You got one. It's 4th and 1, and even then you got like 3 yards to go for the end zone. I totally agree with going for it there. That's the best time to go for it when the stakes for not getting the touchdown here are still not super high. Like, yeah, you give the Cardinals a little momentum, but you also back them up on like the 1-yard line when your defense is playing, pretty decently. Like, you've got a real good shot of getting the ball back on offense with really good field position in this scenario. Now, there are times when the Bengals choose to go for it in this situation, except it's like later in the game and, either the defense hasn't been playing super well or the offense is clearly trying to be a little desperate or something like that. And then it's like maybe you take the points. But in this case, we're already up 7-0. We're clearly in control of this game. I even said earlier, I was like, if they keep this up, that 44-point scoreline might be realistic. So, at this point, you're being bold, and you're doing it for the potential that that you're able to really start like manhandling this game with the risk of maybe the Cardinals have a bit of an opening, but not much. If your defense completely collapses, yeah, that puts the Cardinals, that gives them the opportunity to tie the game. But the likelihood, based on the way the game's going right now, and the fact that it's still the first quarter, and the Bengals defense is typically pretty decent in the first quarter, yeah, the likelihood that giving the ball away in that situation is going to kill you is pretty low, I think. Poor Jets. It's going to be 21-0, but after the Bills game, I don't trust that lead, even if it's the Jets. Jets came back against us. I know our defense isn't even remotely in the same stratosphere as yours, and I'm not even saying you guys have the best defense in the league. I'm just saying our defense was so unbelievably bad in that moment in time that it's not even close. But yeah, I'm gonna go P for D again. What I get for drinking coffee? Oh, wait, no, shit, I might have to wait. Game's coming back. What I get for drinking coffee beforehand. Whatever. Oh, right, I'm glad I didn't go, because I forgot we haven't, we're still on offense, so I would have fucked us over if I had gone. Thank you, NFL, for bringing the game back and making me realize that peeing for the D would be catastrophic. So the Bengals are actually not, or have inches to go to the goal line, for what it's worth. Joe Burrow is going to hand the ball off. Samaje Perine gets an opening. Touchdown. There we go. I'm glad I didn't P for the D, because that's clearly what happened. Clearly what is the thing that actually happened is that I stopped myself from peeing for the D, which would have caused a meltdown collapse. So, good. I know the game doesn't matter, but it's just good to see the Bengals being functional again, It's good to see them out there, taking care of business in games that they should take care of business in, right? And I know the Cardinals are, kind of a mess, but, good. This is what good teams are supposed to do. Good teams are supposed to kick the shit out of bad teams. They're not supposed to miss extra points, which is what Evan McPherson just did just there. I thought that last kick, that last kick I thought was pushed a little too far to the left. This one, it was indeed pushed too far to the left. So that sucks. But 13-0. And it's the only thing that's really gone wrong today, so hopefully that continues to be the case. Knock on wood. Touchdown, Bengals. Indeed. It's going to be a repeat of Ravens Bengals where they fumble and get a 99-yard touchdown return. Fuck off, Richard. All right, I am going to go P for the D now. Nope, just in time. All right, cool. It's going to be a return to about the 23, 4-yard line, depending on where they mark it. Didn't quite see everything that happened there, but did get tackled around the 23-ish, 24-ish yard line. Teams to start 2-0 and finish with 4 wins or fewer includes the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Cleveland Rams. I didn't see the other 3 teams, but one of them was the Boston Yanks. So that's not good. And then they also had the Houston Oilers and the Houston Texans. So one team that still exists has done it before, and the Bengals. Wait, no. Maybe they're talking about the Cardinals, because the Bengals don't have 4 wins or fewer. Bengals have 5 wins, so they're probably talking about the Cardinals, I guess. All right, that's a good pressure by Miles Murphy, but not enough. And the Bengals' secondary kind of breaks down there, so Cardinals going to get a first down after the toss there. Angry water. They need to play angry. And I'm angry after watching them play like that. Now, obviously, Trey McBride, pretty good tight end, so. But I think that was DeGuara, wasn't it? It must have been McBride, because they're highlighting him on the screen here. All right, Brissett's going to roll back. He's going to throw it short this time to Michael Carter, who picks up about 9 yards. So I was talking about the Bengals' defense being good, but obviously not. So at least they don't look good right now. Time of possession in the first quarter must be super lopsided. For us? I don't know. I don't remember. Scoreboard second quarter. That is indeed true. Thank you. And OBS disconnected. What? Am I still live? Am I still live? What the hell? Reconnection successful. Okay. Did I go dark there for a second? Because OBS said it was disconnected and reconnecting. I'm back. Okay, so I was gone for a second. That's annoying. I don't know what the hell happened there. Bengals still have a shitty defense playing against overpaid Kyler Murray. Well, they're playing against Jacoby Brissett, first of all. Bengals still have a shitty defense playing. Well, the defense has been better, though. The defense has been better the last couple of weeks, and young guys have been getting in there and playing, so The good news, if there's good news at the end of the season, the good news is that next year they'll probably be pretty justified in not paying Trey Hendrickson. And going through all that drama with him. I think they'd like to have him back if he was going to be cooperative, but the way that he's been, I think they'll probably just move on from him and they'll just like let Miles Murphy develop and stuff. They might even go pick up a guy in free agency. Kind of be more of a mentor type. BJ Hill gets quickly through that pass rush, but I think he was a little early, so that's going to be offsides on him. Unless the Cardinals jumped. We'll see. Maybe it's a false start. That'd be cool. I didn't see what they called. Offsides on Shamar Stewart. That was definitely on BJ Hill. I don't know why they called it that. Shamar Stewart jumped for sure, but he is definitely not the one who was offsides. Google says 13-31 top first quarter for the Bengals. Well, Google's wrong. Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon. Hold on. Brissett, play action pass, rolls back, throws, wide open is Wilson. And the Bengals, I think, might have let him get in the end zone. What the fuck are you doing? Good Lord. Okay, and so much for that defense. Good Lord, guys. What the fuck are you doing? Ugh. I need to figure out this guy's name. I only got Wilberforce playing OU later today in women's basketball. I've never even heard of Wilberforce before. 14, Michael Wilson, by the way. I don't know why I don't know his name, but whatever. He did indeed step out of bounds, I think. Maybe. Hard to say. Yeah, he definitely stepped out of bounds, so this is going to come back a little bit. Still garbage by the Bengals defense there. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Gonna be kind of hard to overturn this one anyway. So, looks like they're not even going to review it. So 13-6, kick is up. That one's good, and the Cardinals pull it within a touchdown due to Evan McPherson's missed extra point. So that's not good. Luckily the offense is playing well, but this is what it's been all year. Good first quarter from the defense, and then they play like garbage the rest of the game. So hopefully that's not what happens today, but they weren't doing. That was not a great drive for the Cardinals until the second quarter hit. For what that's worth. Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon's supposed to be a defensive mastermind, yet his team is 13 points in the hole. The Cardinals' defense has been bad all year. What are you talking about? Methinks the front office can't wait to fire him next Monday. The Cardinals do like to fire people after a year, which is weird to me. Like, you know, I get firing a guy after one season, like, if it's just a disaster, like Urban Meyer was with the Jaguars. I'm not saying you can't ever fire a guy after one season, but to make it a regular habit, it's just like, that says something else about your organization if every coach is lasting less than a season. I know Cliff Kingsbury didn't, but what they had Todd Bowles there for a season, right? And they had some other guy who only lasted a season. Like, you know, like if you're regularly firing people after a season, then you've got some organizational issues that you need to fix instead of worrying about your head coach. Now, I never really believed in Jonathan Gannon. I thought it was a weird hire, but, you know, they should be, I mean, that's an example. They should be hiring better coaches in the first place. Okay. Well, not the best defensive drive from the Bengals, but at this point, it's all about development, right? Yeah, I want to see the Bengals beat the shit out of the Cardinals, but, you know, it's like I said, it's about development right now. It's about, you know, watching to see what these guys do and how that's going to impact next year. Because right now, the season's over, so it's not really about anything other than just, like, preparing for next year. This is the post-preseason. Or the pre-post season. Probably a better way of saying that. You looked buffering. Yeah, OBS disconnected for a second. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it disconnected, but just very briefly disconnected. 14-0 Patriots. Like we should be shocked. Jets equals just expected to suck. Have NFL videos on my channel. Yep. Go watch them after you're done here. Yeah, obviously we all expected the Patriots to kill the Jets, Jim. Not surprising. Boswell kick Browns lead 10-3. Hell yeah, go Browns. Go Brownies! If it's brown, flush it up when they're playing the Steelers. Ha! That was stupid. Anyway, it's going to be a touchback for the Bengals. Now, I will say, bad on the defense, but don't forget the Evan McPherson also kicked that ball to where the Cardinals got the ball at the 35-yard line. So they didn't really have a whole lot they had to do to go get points. So the defense was kind of set up in a poor position, just like the Cardinals are set up poorly here. Joe Burrow's under center. Hand the ball off. He's got Chase Brown. I think, yeah, that was Chase Brown, and it's about a 3-yard pickup. Not a whole lot there. 2nd and 7. All right. 2nd and 7. Let's see what they can do here. Bengals got the ball at the 38-yard line, I want to say. Motioning Andre Yoshivas out to the left, and Jamar Chase is the only one left on the right. Got Chase Brown in the backfield. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap, throws. That's too far for Jamar Chase. I think he got pushed a little bit as he threw that ball. Had a guy pushed into him. But still got to throw it a little bit better than that, Joe. 3rd and 7. That's not good. Come on. Come on, Bengals. I mean, you got a bit of a buffer, but not much. One of the sides of the ball is going to have to step back up because they was looking real good at the beginning of the game. Not so good now. Shotgun formation, Joe Burrow. Mike Gesicki's coming in, not all the way to the left. Joe Burrow is going to step up in the pocket, but he gets sacked. That wasn't a smart thing to do. At least he stepped up and didn't take a 17-yard sack. But on 3rd down, I don't know how much it really matters. Apparently, we got a wind advisory here in Cincinnati. More interesting than anything the Bengals offense is doing right now. 4th and 15, and it's going to be a punt from Mr. Ryan Rico, despite the really good field position they started with. But whatever. Punt is just not a good punt at all. It's going to be punted to about the 29-yard line, and then he returns it about 5 yards to the 34. So, man, everybody just... What the hell? Not a good series of drives by anybody. Evan McPherson blowing it twice in a row on the extra point and on the kickoff. Bengals defense comes out and plays like garbage, being handed bad field position, but still plays like garbage. Offense comes out, plays terrible, and then Ryan Rico comes out with an awful punt. Not an awful punt, but not a good punt. Come on, man. Not what I want to see out of this team, because I was talking in the first quarter about, seeing the good development, and you like it, but you need some consistency, too. That's not what I'm seeing. Don't like that at all. Not good, Bob. Can we wave the white flag for our opponent? I don't know. See if you can quite do that, Richard. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. You just got to keep beating the shit out of them. Poor you. Isn't 10 Super Bowls enough? Huh? What do you mean? 10 Super Bowls? If it's Brown and playing the Squealers, leave a floater. Okay. Dolphins upset the Patriots next week would be great. Why? Huh? Football world, not the Patriots, not the Patriots. We're begging you. No, I'm part of the football world, right? I'm fine with the Patriots. Fuck it, man. Isn't 10 Super Bowls enough? What do you mean 10 Super Bowls? You mean going to 10 Super Bowls? Like, I know as a Vikings fan, and I'm not much better as a Bengals fan, but as a Vikings fan, maybe you equate going to the Super Bowl with winning the Super Bowl, but they don't have 10 Super Bowls. Okay, Colts up 10-6 on the Jaguars. Looks like the Jaguars are coming back a little bit there. Browns still up 10-3 on the Steelers. Steelers do have the ball, though, on the 33-yard line. Titans up 13-0 on the Saints. Woof. Woof. Rip Mikey. Dolphins up 10-7 on the Buccaneers. Sounds about right. Patriots up 21-0 on the Jets. Also woof. And the Seahawks are holding a slim 3-0 lead over the Panthers, who currently have the ball and have a first down at the 32-yard line. Tonight you got Giants, Raiders, Eagles, Bills, and Bears, 49ers. So, and then obviously no Monday night game because we had a bunch of Saturday night games. So anyway, Jacoby Brissett, play action pass. He's gonna pump fake actually. Pump fakes again and throws it out of bounds. Nothing going on there. So I guess that was good from the secondary. Jim wants to have a repeat of the 2018 Week 18 where we have to play on the road because we lost Week 18 to the Dolphins. I guess. He just doesn't want he's desperate to keep the Patriots out of the Super Bowl, which, like, I don't quite understand. It's a completely different Patriots team. Like, you're a Vikings fan. You're allowed to, root against storylines by all means, but, I don't equate this with the same Patriots dynasty, and even if I did, like, I'd be okay with it. I never had a problem with the Tom Brady Patriots. All right, it's going to be a handoff, and the Bengals do a good job of stuffing that one, but take forever. Cannot bring Michael Carter down, and look at that, it's Barrett Carter who can't bring him down. End up giving him 2 yards when they should have given him nothing, basically. Well, let's see. 3rd and 8. Can the defense stop him here? If the defense can stop him here, then that's at least, one part of our team that's functioning again. Which, we really just, please don't collapse against the fucking Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, he's got a lot of pressure, and he throws, and that is what looks like really good coverage by Barrett Carter. The running back, I didn't quite see who it was arguing for, like, a pass interference, but no such luck. No such luck. So the Cardinals are going to have to punt it now that it's 4th and 8. Defense comes out and they do much better than they did on the second or on the previous drive. So that's good to see. Oh yeah, that was just a great play by Barrett Carter. That is not pass interference at all. I think that's a false start on the. I don't know if they're going to call it, but that looked like false start by the Cardinals to me. And ooh, what a punt! Oh no. That is down to the 1.5 yard line. Good lord. Ryan Rico, take some fucking notes, dude. Well, the Bengals are going to be backed up on offense. That's not great. More room to make big, spectacular plays. Maybe we can think about it like that. Now, if you can get points of any kind, get more than a touchdown up on the Cardinals, and that at least, assuages some of the frustration. Correction, 2019, the year Derrick Henry ran it down our fucking throat. Kind of like he did to the Packers. Yep, Derrick Henry at one time with the Titans, that was a special thing. That even, I don't think, like Derrick Henry with the Ravens has been a really good pickup by them. But it hasn't quite been the same level of just utter dominance that he had when he was in Tennessee. Because when he was in Tennessee, there were times where it was like Derrick Henry was the only thing that mattered in Tennessee, but he was just something else, man. Like that was a different thing. That like the Tennessee Derrick Henry was just on another level. All right, well, the Steelers had to give the ball back, so the Browns now have the ball. 1st and 10 from the Cleveland 16. Go Browns. Beat the Steelers. And then next week, we will get Ravens Steelers in a battle for the AFC North title. Now, it will likely be without Lamar Jackson, but it could be with Lamar Jackson. You never know. We just don't know what's going on. Lamar Jackson. Any information about if he's supposed to play against the Steelers? Looks like they're saying that he could be back next week. I think it depends on if the Browns beat the Steelers. Because I think Lamar Jackson's making business decisions right now. I really do. And I mean, you can tell because of all of the stuff that's coming out from the Ravens camp. Like, we're hearing leaks about Lamar Jackson being more interested in playing video games and stuff like that. And, I don't know how true any of that is. My read of that is that he's making business decisions and the Ravens don't like it. All right. Nice pass from Joe Burrow to Mike Gesicki. Gets a first down and opens up at least some room to work with, so you're not backed up. Who else is deciding the division in Week 18? It's AFC North and NFC West, maybe. Yeah, I guess. I don't... Let's see. Who hasn't clinched the division? I don't know. That's a good question. Joe Burrow's going to hand the ball off to Chase Brown, who breaks through a couple tackles and picks up about 8 yards through a lot of really good effort there. So, let's see. Teams that can clinch the division. The Broncos clinched the AFC West with a Broncos win, which they got, and a Chargers loss, which they got. So the Broncos have clinched the AFC West. Hold on. 2nd and 3, Joe Burrow. I had 2nd and 3. I thought it was 2nd and 2. Whatever. It's going to be a play-action pass, Chase Brown, and he's going to dump it off short to Chase Brown. Makes a nice little cut to get past the first defender and picks up about 20 yards or so after all that. Nice play. Jacksonville Jaguars clinched the AFC South with a win plus Houston loss. Well, Houston won, so Jaguars are not going to clinch the division. I think they might have to clinch it next week because they had to have Houston lose or tie, but they beat the Chargers. So Joe Burrow shotgun snap. He's got Chase Brown, and it's a nice little spin move there. Good job. And picks up about 6 yards when he was probably going to be taken down for about 3. Good little spin move there. Gotta like it. So the Texans won. So I think the Jaguars cannot clinch. So I think the AFC South will be to some extent on the line. Now, I forget who the Jaguars are playing. They obviously got to beat the Colts today, but a little bit of dancing around by Chase Brown. I think he might have done just enough to pick up the first down. If not, it's going to be 3rd and inches. Play the Titans next week, so Jaguars probably going to win that division. I know they're struggling right now, but looks like Trevor Lawrence broke a few tackles and ended up rushing in for a touchdown, so it's 10-7 now. Good for the Jaguars. Go Jags! Anything we can see to involve the Colts defense collapsing and proving me more right about Lou Anarumo, I'm happy. I'm happy about that. Not obviously about the whole season. But 3rd and 1, Joe Burrow, shotgun snap, throws it over the middle of Yoshi, who catches it about a 6-yard pass or so. That's going to be enough for another Bengals first down. Okay. So I guess who is even playing next week? You got the Bengals and Browns. Obviously, that game is going to be virtually meaningless, other than to my sanity. Titans, Jaguars. The Jaguars may need to win that game. Well, will need to win that game to win the AFC South. Saints, Falcons, meaningless, other than the Mikey. Burrow takes the shotgun snap and gets absolutely obliterated behind the line. It's going to be a sack, and that's a pretty decent-sized sack, too. So, I mean, about a 7-yard loss or so, I think. Damn. He got tackled all the way back at, like, the 50-yard line. Yeah, like, right at, like right on top of the 50-yard line, actually. Which is unfortunate. So maybe not a 7-yard loss, but still a pretty obnoxious size loss. It's going to be 2nd and 18. So, yeah, okay, so it's about what I thought it was. I just, I don't know, whatever. Lions, Bears. I think the Bears already wrapped up their division, right? P. Ryan limping? I didn't see that. That's not good. But he's out there right now. Maybe you're ahead of me. Joe Burrow gets sacked again. Oh, man, it's going to be 3rd and 20 or 21 or something now. My God. Chargers, Broncos. I think the Broncos already wrapped up their division. AFC North will be on the line. Cardinals, Rams. It won't be a direct game. I think the AFC North is the only game that is like a division championship game. That's the only one. Other than that, have the Patriots clinched? I can't remember. Cowboys, Giants, obviously relatively meaningless game. Chase Brown's going to take the short screen pass and picks up about 15 yards, but on 3rd and 22, not really mattering a whole lot. Might have gotten them somewhat in field goal range, though, so... it'd be a long field goal, but it probably can get it done. They might even go for it, honestly. Who else you got? Commanders, Eagles. They are sending Money Mac out, so let's see if he gets it. Commanders, Eagles, obviously meaningless. Ravens, Steelers is the big one. Seahawks, 49ers. That may be online. I can't remember. Panthers, Buccaneers. Now the NFC South. That will be the Panthers, Buccaneers will be for the division, right? Well, I guess it depends on if the Panthers beat the Seahawks, I think they might win the division. Is that right? Well, they have so the Buccaneers have to lose. So if the Panthers win and the Buccaneers lose, then the Panthers win the division, right? The Buccaneers are not able to clinch at all. So the Panthers can clinch the division today, though, with a win over the Seahawks, whom they are currently losing 3-0 to, and it's in the middle of the second quarter, so they've had ample opportunity. 4th and 7, it's a 56-yard field goal attempt. We know he has the leg for it, and it's on target. It looks like he got it. Boom! Money Mac hits the long field goal and makes up for missing the extra point. There you go. Bengals take a 16-7 lead over the Cardinals. Good to see that. NFC South as well. Week 18, Bucks versus Panthers. Depending on... if the Panthers come back and beat the Seahawks, which they still have ample opportunity to do, and the Dolphins beat the Buccaneers, then that game won't matter. And then who else is playing? So it's AFC... It's AFC North if the Browns beat the Steelers. If the Steelers beat the Browns, I think they win the division. So these are all a bunch of ifs. We might not have any meaningful games next week. At least as far as as far as the game really mattering to both teams. Colts, Texans might matter. I don't think it'll matter to the Colts, though. I think the Colts are eliminated. So, the only games that potentially matter to both teams next week are the Ravens, Steelers, and the Panthers, Buccaneers. Now, it's more likely that the AFC North game is going to matter, because that just requires, the Ravens already did their job. The Browns need to beat the Steelers, which they are currently doing 10-3, although the Steelers are in field goal range, so they're probably going to be 10-6 here in a sec. or not. The Steelers went for it and turned the ball over on downs, so that works out. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck the Steelers. Titans up 13-3 on the Saints. Good Lord. How's our boy Tyler Shuck doing? He's doing okay. It doesn't appear to be his fault. He's completed 10 of his 11 passing attempts for 82 yards. Hasn't gotten in the end zone or thrown a pick. The Saints have virtually no rushing game. Tyler Shuck leads the team with 9 rushing yards so far. So that's probably what's happening is the Saints are not running the ball at all. And the Titans, you're having Cam Ward have a pretty good game so far. Throwing a touchdown pass to Chigakonkwo. So that's what's happening in that Saints-Titans game is through no fault necessarily of Tyler Shucks because he appears to be playing well, but the Saints are not looking good. Interestingly enough, the Bengals are one of the top 3 scoring teams in the NFL right now, as far as games that are currently being played. Only have 16 points, but that's more points than the Cardinals, obviously, as they're tackled around the 27-yard line on the kick return. But obviously more points than the Cardinals, more than the Jaguars, Colts, Steelers, Browns, Saints, Titans, Buccaneers, Jets, Seahawks, and Panthers. So only the Patriots and Dolphins, randomly, have more points. And we would actually have the same number of points as the Dolphins if Money Mac had hit the extra point attempt that he missed. Michael Carter's going to take the handoff, and he's going to be tackled by Barrett Carter for about a 1.5, maybe 2-yard gain. P. Ryan limping. I didn't see that, but hopefully he was okay. They are who we thought they were. Who, the Jets? Yeah, they're pretty bad. Not bad enough to lose to us, though, apparently. 1 sack, shame on the Cards. 2 in a row, shame on the Bengals offensive line. Yeah, that was I don't know what the hell that was. Sanders got picked into the red zone. Steelers in the red zone. Oh, no. Or was that before the turnover on downs they had? Because according to ESPN, they currently have the ball. Overthrown by Brissett to McBride there. And better positioning by the safeties that maybe could have been a pick, but no such luck. Dax Hill doing a good job getting on top of Trey McBride. So it looks like Brissett may have just been thrown to a spot rather than like actually looking at the field when he threw that ball. We've got the best tight end offense in the NFL going up against the worst tight end defense in the NFL. So that's not good. Bengals defense been playing pretty well today, though. Brissett takes the shotgun snap, throws as he's being hit, and that's knocked away by Dax Hill. And the defense holds him to another 4th down. I think it's another 4th and 8. I think the last one was 4th and 8 too. So Cardinals going to have to punt. Good to see what we're seeing right now. P. Ryan limping on the first in a row sack. I see. I didn't see it. But, you know, I think he's okay, though, because he was running after that. NFC South been the worst division since 2023 in the NFL. The NFC South is pretty regularly bad. Like, they're pretty constantly... Before that, they had a lot of bad, you know? So it's going to be... Oh, nice return. After getting a head of steam. And that's Williams who gets it down well into Cardinals territory, down to about like the 37-yard line or so. Nice punt return. He caught it off of the bounce and was able to have a full head of steam from when he started running. And, you know, some good blocking, really good blocking there by, was that Oren Burks, I think? Yeah, really great blocking by Oren Burks to open up that return lane there. No, we clinch with a win over the Jets. Okay, well, you might lose. You could. The game's not over. You could collapse and lose. Never know. Okay, so it's actually the 36-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Samaje P. Ryan, who gets a nice run, nice rushing lane, breaks through a few tackles, gets it down to about the 10-yard line. Woo! That's a 26-yard rush there by Samaje P. Ryan. And the Bengals are knocking on the door again. with what's that? It's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, right? Yep, 2-minute warning, and the Bengals are likely to score again before the half's over. Hopefully they can get the end zone. That'd be great. Happy Sunday, everyone. Indeed, Daniel Barry. Hope you have a good one. Patriots lead 28-3. I've seen that score somewhere. Yeah. But you are playing the Jets, too, so. Swear to God, Perna, if you curse us to lose 28-3 to the Jets, I'll come to Denver and kick your ass. Dude, he cursed us this year. The curse wheel landed on us, and Joe Burrow gets hurt, and our season's over. That's what happened this year. It was Brandon Perna's fault. Richard, Jets are not those Falcons. Stop it. The Jets did it against us, though, Jim. Like, you know, and you know we played it pretty close with the Patriots. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible. Cardinal to the back of the Cardinal to the back on the cards. I did not see a Cardinal getting carted off, but whoever it was, hopefully, is okay. All right, Bengals got the ball at the 11-yard line once we get back from commercial break. As far as updates go, the Colts are winning 10-7 over the Jaguars. The Browns are maintaining a 10-3 lead over the Steelers. They are going to have to punt, though it's 4th and 2, so the Steelers are going to get a 2-minute drill. The Saints did score, so the Titans are up 13-10 on them, but the Saints brought it back a little bit with a touchdown from I'm confused. Looks like it was a fumble recovery. Cam Ward was sacked, and Chase Young looks like returned it for a touchdown. So that's good for the Saints. It brings them back into contention with the Titans, but you know, still not very good. That the offense has done literally nothing against them so far, except for a field goal. Didn't see who or a number. I wonder if I can find out here. I'm gonna wait though, because it looks like I'm gonna wait. I'll try to see later, because I guess the game's back enough that ESPN's updating the game cast, so I don't want to get spoilers here. I already know what's gonna happen on this play apparently. So I'll narrate it. Joe Burrow shotgun snap. He's gonna hand off to Chase Brown, who bounces around a little bit and manages to, instead of being tackled at the line of scrimmage, picks up about 3 yards. So that's better than nothing, I suppose. So it's going to be 2nd and 7. Bengals going to get the ball at the Cardinals' 8-yard line. So perhaps on the next commercial. I also got to go back and look through the starting quarterbacks, right? I never finished that little experiment I had going for Andy Dalton. Like, who would I take Andy Dalton over in the NFL right now? 2nd and 7. Joe Burrow isn't empty. He's going to take the snap. He throws. He's got Jamar Chase. Easy touchdown. That didn't even look hard, man. I'm sure it was as NFL players, but yeah, Jamar Chase, end zone. Boom. And the Bengals are going to take a 22-7 lead pending the extra point from Evan McPherson. I would almost go for 2 here, honestly, because like, what have you got to lose? And, you know, you can at least even up the game a little bit. Then again, maybe you just take the extra point and don't overthink it. Because, I mean, 23-7, you still got a pretty substantial lead. It does appear to be what the Bengals are going to do. So, Evan McPherson's lining up for the extra point. Kick is up, and that's right down the middle. It looks like he learned his lesson. 23-7, with 1:15 left to go in the quarter, and pending a defensive collapse, that's likely what we're going to go into halftime with. Okay. So let me see if I can find who got injured. I don't see anything here. Amarius Mims returned to the game, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be returned from about the 3-yard line by the Cardinals. Bengals tackle him about the 27. So it's pretty standard kickoff return. Maybe I got something on Twitter about the guy who got hurt. Let's see. All right, it's going to be a handoff to Michael Carter, I believe. No, it's Amari DeMarcado who picks up about 2 yards on that. So, all right, it's going to be a toss to Wilson there, and he does pick up a first down. So they're trying to put some points on the board. I don't see anything on Twitter about it either. Oh, well, so here's somebody confirming that it did happen, but I can't see anybody stating who it was. Death taxes an Arizona Cardinals player taking a cart off the field after another injury. But they didn't say who it was. God damn. Marvin Harrison Jr. apparently got a heel injury. I don't think he got carted, though. I don't know. I can't find any information about who got carted off. Just that somebody did get carted off. Nice job to hit Jacoby Brissett, and possibly a fumble recovered by Barrett Carter. The play is blown dead, though. And I don't know what's going on here. There's a flag, and I think Geno Stone's on the ground holding on the Cardinals. But, does it matter? Because, didn't the Bengals get a fumble recovery? I'm so confused. Jacoby Brissett, and, that's clear holding. I get it. Yeah, okay, his arm was going forward, so I think that probably is a forward pass. Well, let's see here. Ball was definitely going forward. That is definitely an incomplete forward pass, for sure. 1st and 20, with 41 seconds left. I think you're just trying to run out the clock at this point. Cardinals do have 2 timeouts, though. Brissett takes a shotgun snap, and it's going to be a false start on the Cardinals. Hilarious. Touchdown chase. Rodgers looks so stupid in the Steelers helmet. He is stupid. While it's great the good guys are up 2 scores, I thought Arizona would put up a better fight than this. It seems like their offense can't convert 3rd downs. I clearly did not think that the Cardinals would put up a better fight than this, because I had the Bengals winning 44-22. McLaughlin kick blocked. Finns still lead 17-7. Well, that's rough. Brissett is going to throw it short, and he's going to it's going to be caught by number 85, Trey McBride, and he picks up about a yard or 2 after all that. After all of that, the Cardinals net minus 22 yards on 1st and 10, so it's going to be 2nd and 22. Browns got a 12-man penalty, only the Browns. Fuck him, dude. Rodgers is throwing a hissy fit. What a diva. Yeah, it's because he sucks, and I hate him. Used to be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL because he beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. But, if he's going to lead the Steelers to the playoffs, I don't like him. If the Steelers miss the playoffs, I might be happier with him. You know, he has given the Steelers a little bit of hope, which isn't what I want. But maybe giving them hope and then ripping that hope away will be good. Maybe that's okay. Jacoby Brissett. Shotgun snap. Rolls back. He's going to throw it up, and that is to nobody. It's going to be 3rd and 22 now, and I would imagine this is just a drain the rest of the clock and try to go to halftime type of situation. My dad said, you going to score a touchdown. Yeah, I'm going to score a touchdown today? Was it because, like, the Cardinals are that bad? Maybe. Definitely having a good day, that's for sure. Better day than the Saints. Let's see. Bleep Karen Frogers. There you go, exactly. Mari DiMercato takes the handoff as I predicted, and he gets tackled after about a yard, and I think the Bengals might be taking the timeout here. That's interesting. Bengals do indeed take their first timeout with 23 seconds left, and the Cardinals are going to be forced to punt. So I guess maybe the Bengals are trying to see if maybe they can get a field goal out of this. It'd be pretty funny. Putting 25 seconds up on the clock, actually. So that would be pretty cool if we could get another score out of this. Yep. Damn shame the Steelers have already got 9 wins on the season. Damn shame. All right. It's going to be returned by Williams there to about the 33. There is a flag on the play, though. So we'll see what happens here. Boswell kick. Browns lead 10-6. Aggression from Zach Taylor. I like it. Yeah, Zach Taylor's never been unaggressive. He just... His biggest issue sometimes is being aggressive in the wrong situations. I think the Bengals are going to get flagged on the punt here, so I think it's going to be coming back a little bit. Yep. So, with 14 seconds left and 2 timeouts, I think they might try to take a shot here, and if that doesn't work out, they'll just run out the clock. Yep, DJ Ivey holding number 16 there pretty badly. Congrats, but just like my Vikings, we celebrate a non-playoff season. At least you're self-aware, Jim. That's good. All right, Bengals get the ball at the 8-yard line. Joe Burrow's just going to knee it. All right, well, so much for that. But hey, we're leading 23-7 at halftime, barring a complete and total and utter knock on wood collapse. Should be able to cruise to a win in this one. As I said, my prediction was 44-22, and the most unlikely part of that right now might be being the Cardinals getting 22. Although, actually, not really. That actually, I think we're about on pace, right? Because the Bengals actually need to score less in the second half than they did. They only need to score 21 in the second half. They scored 23 in the first half. So if the Bengals can get 21 in the second half, then that's 44. And the Cardinals, obviously, they need to score double what they scored in plus a 2-point conversion. What they scored in the first half. But if the Bengals do indeed continue the pressure on offense and just absolutely go hog wild, I wouldn't be shocked if let's say the Cardinals get a touchdown on this next drive. Because I think they get the ball first. Let's say they get a touchdown and then they convert the 2-point conversion, but then the defense, buckles down after that, and the Bengals offense just continues keeping the pressure on. And then, later in the game, the Bengals let up another, garbage time field goal, or garbage time touchdown, and we end up with the 44-22 scoreline. So, they're roughly about on pace to be what I predicted. Refs on our side, love it. 35-3, Pats lead. And so much for the 28-3 thing. Bench everyone, ride the lead, and put it in the backups. Pretty much. That's what I would do at this point. At halftime, we've got the Jaguars trailing the Colts. Colts are leading 10-7. The Browns are up on the Steelers 10-6. Go Browns. The Titans are up 13-10 on the Saints. However, they have the ball. There's still 57 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and the Titans have the ball at the Saints 7-yard line. So they might. They're most likely going to get more points before the half. Pretty good shot at getting a touchdown because they have 57 seconds left. I don't know what the timeout situation looks like over there though. Let's see. Titans do have all 3 of their timeouts, so getting in the end zone seems pretty likely here. Don't be the Chargers, leave the starters in and have him injured before the playoffs. Back in 2021, I think. Is that right? I think I kind of remember that happening. I don't remember what year that was, though. So anyway, Patriots up 35-3 on the Jets. Dolphins up 17-7 on the Buccaneers. The Titans did get in the end zone, so they're up 19-10 on the Saints pending the extra point. Likely will go into the half with 13 seconds left in the second quarter. Likely to go in the half 20-10. Titans in the lead. And then you've got the Seahawks tied with the Panthers 3-3 at halftime, which is just absolutely wild. Titans do convert the extra point, so it's 20-10 with 13 seconds left to go in the first half. And apparently Tyler Shuck has done literally nothing since last time I checked, because he's still 10 for 11 on the day for passing, thrown for 82 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, meaning he hasn't attempted a single pass since I said that. Now, I don't remember if the Saints have had an offensive drive since then, to be fair, but yeah, interesting. Have the Saints turned the ball over or something? No, they're just getting outplayed. No interceptions. Haven't lost a fumble. In fact, Chase Young had a scoop 6. So Luke Fortner recovered a fumble, which is weird. Oh, okay, so Tyler Shuck did fumble, and then it was recovered by Luke Fortner. Okay, I see how that is. Never mind. No lost fumbles, though. The Saints have not turned the ball over, and yet are losing 20-10 to the fucking Titans. Rip. Ooh, what a catch by Harold Fannin. That's part of what's going on for the Browns right now. A nice bomb from Shadur to Harold Fannin Jr. Hope the Browns can keep that up, man. Likelihood? Low. But, you know, I can dream. Okay, so let's see. List of current starting quarterbacks. Who would I take Andy Dalton over today? I take him over anybody the Cardinals got, so that's one team. I'd take him probably over whoever the Falcons have. I mean, Kirk Cousins, but he hasn't been very good lately, so maybe Andy Dalton I'd take over what they got going on in Atlanta. Baltimore, I think I'd take Andy Dalton. If Lamar Jackson is indeed planning on leaving, then I think I'd take Andy Dalton over anything they got going on in Baltimore. Then again, Baltimore might draft a quarterback, so who knows? Because I think I've got a rule here, like I wouldn't take Andy Dalton over anybody with the potential of developing. So then maybe you'd say Michael Penix, right? Maybe then you'd say you'd rather have Michael Penix because there's at least potential of him developing. You know, but then again, the Falcons, but at that point it's just like the Falcons suck. So, you know, how much you really thinking about there. So definitely at least the Cardinals. Cardinals, and then so maybe the Falcons, and then maybe the Browns. I might take Dalton over Shadur Sanders, just because Shadur Sanders, we don't really know what we're getting right now. And that's a 5th round pick. That's not like somebody you're committing to long term, necessarily. Dak Prescott, probably take Dak Prescott over him right now. Bo Nix, you got to take, you know, the guy who's currently your franchise quarterback. Jared Goff, you can take Jared Goff over Andy Dalton. The Packers, obviously Jordan Love, take him over Andy Dalton. Right now, Malik Willis is the starter, but that's due to injury. CJ Stroud over Dalton. The Colts, I think I'd take Andy Dalton in Indianapolis, right? Because, like, I know everybody's like, oh, Phillip Rivers looks really good for a 44-year-old, but that's, you know, again, we're qualifying that he looks really good for a 44-year-old. I don't think he's looked that. I don't think Phillip Rivers looked that great. He's looked impressive. He's way better than I thought he'd be at 44. But I don't think Phillip Rivers is really getting. Nobody's really thinking Phillip Rivers is necessarily even going to be the guy next year. I guess Daniel Jones. So, I mean, yeah, you can't take Andy Dalton at that point because Daniel Jones, your plan is to have Daniel Jones long term. Trevor Lawrence, obviously take him. Patrick Mahomes, to take him. I'd take him over Geno Smith in Vegas. So, that's two for sure and two maybes, I think, right? So that's four situations where, Andy Dalton would at least be a decent option. Wouldn't take him over Herbert. Wouldn't take him over Stafford. Well, that depends because I've heard rumors that Stafford might be done after this year. So if Stafford's done after this year, then I think you take Andy Dalton over anything else they got going on in Los Angeles, right? So that's another maybe. That's another maybe. Miami, I think you take Dalton over Tua or Quinn Ewers right now, because it looks like they've given up on Tua. Looks like Tua's the Tua thing's done, and if the Tua thing's done now, if they're still planning on having Tua, like they're like, oh well, this year's bad, but we're just gonna rest him, make sure he doesn't get hurt, but he still is the guy going forward. If that's the case, then you take him over Dalton. But if they are intending to move on from Tua, then I think you take Dalton over any other option they have right now. So that's four maybes. Two for sure and four maybe. Okay, where am I? Dolphins. Here we go. Minnesota's another maybe because JJ McCarthy is kind of your future, but like, do you really believe in him, especially after all the injuries? I don't know. Definitely take him over Max Brosmer, but so that's two for sure, five maybes. As far as Andy Dalton goes, as far as like, 7 total teams that Andy Dalton might be a decent fit on. Better than what they have. Again, partially because we're questioning what they actually have. I think you gotta take. So obviously Drake May, you take him over Dalton. Tyler Shuck, you take him over Dalton. Just because he's young and developing, and you have the thought process that you might be able to bring him in over and develop a team around him maybe. Jackson Dart, obviously the Giants. Like whether you believe that Jackson Dart is gonna be as good as he looked when he first started with the Giants, or whether that was just a fluke. Doesn't change the fact that the Giants are planning on building around him, so he definitely not going to be taking Andy Dalton over him. Jets, though, I'd take Andy Dalton over anybody they got in New York right now, including Justin Fields, because I think the Justin Fields experiment's pretty dead at this point. And he is young, but it doesn't look like they're planning on building around him. So I think I'd take Andy Dalton for the Jets. So that's 3 for sure's and what was it, 5 maybes? So we got 8 total teams right now. Eagles. Obviously, I think Jalen Hurts, you're still planning on building around him. So, no on the Eagles. Steelers is interesting. And no. I don't know how many times I can say no. Fuck that. I hate it. Kill it with fire. But, to be realistic, if this is indeed Aaron Rodgers' last season, Andy Dalton's probably better than anything else you got going on in Pittsburgh right now, right? So, it seems like it's most likely going to be Aaron Rodgers' last season, but we never know with Aaron Rodgers, right? So that one's got to be a maybe, but that one's like a almost for sure. 49ers, I think you take Andy Dalton over Brock Purdy at this point. I do, because I think you've gotten all of the development you're expecting to get out of Brock Purdy, and I think I'd rather build a team around Andy Dalton. At least for a couple of years, So I think I'd take Dalton over Brock Purdy. So that's 4. That's 9. That's 9 total teams. Obviously the Seahawks are going to commit to Sam Darnold going forward. That would be the correct move. The Buccaneers are already committed to Baker Mayfield at least for another couple of years. So know on that. The Titans, it's gonna be Cam Ward, right? Like, I mean, you can't really make the argument unless there's indication that the Titans might be considering not building around Cam Ward. But for now, they are intending to build around Cam Ward. And then the Commanders are intending to build around Jaden Daniels, despite the fact that, he hasn't quite lived up to his rookie hype this season. But there's a lot of injuries and stuff, so you never know what's going to happen. But, so, yeah, my final say is that 9 total teams in the NFL I would consider Andy Dalton might be the best option you have, right? So, I mean, he's no complete scrub. Like, he's old and you're not going to be building around him. So pretty much anybody who thinks that they have a guy that they're going to build around, or already has like an elite quarterback, you're not going to be taking Andy Dalton in those situations. But I'd say there's still probably 9 teams that should at least, that would be possibly happier with Andy Dalton than anything else any other potential option. I think the Steelers would be happier with Aaron Rodgers coming back next year, but seems unlikely right now. I mean, if the Steelers miss the playoffs, I could see Aaron Rodgers getting antsy and not wanting to leave on that note, but feeling like the Steelers are, try to run it back with the Steelers. Because I think he was considering retiring after the Jets and just didn't want to leave things on that note. So he went to the Steelers, and if the Steelers miss the playoffs, I think he's going to feel like he has unfinished business, right? All right, so the kickoff is away. The Cardinals going to get the ball first. That's going to be returned from about the half-yard line. It's a much better kickoff than he had last time. So that's going to be returned to about the 33. So the return coverage was bad, but Evan McPherson at least had a decent kick. So yeah, that's my opinion. 9 teams that I think Andy Dalton would still be the best option, or could potentially be the best option for. Obviously that leaves 23 teams that, I didn't even talk about which of those players he'd be better at playing quarterback right now. I can go through that next. But Jacoby Brissett is going to take the shotgun snap, throws, and that is bobbled and dropped by Michael Carter. Wasn't a great throw by Brissett, but, Michael Carter, you should catch that, man. There wasn't anybody on you. Now, I mean, it only would have been like a 2 or 3 yard gain, unless you can turn on the Jets, and you can probably outrun this Bengals defense. Lots of people have done it all season, but, yeah. Just overall, kind of a not so great play by the Cardinals offense there. From the 32-yard line, Brissett is under center. He's going to take the snap, fakes the handoff to Michael Carter, rolls back. He's going to throw, and that is dropped by Trey McBride. Good coverage by Dax Hill to make that. And Trey McBride's trying to argue that there should be like some sort of pass interference or something. I don't know. Let's see on the replay. Yeah, probably. Probably. It's probably that might have been pass interference, but whatever. Happens to us all the time, so I feel no sympathy. Maybe a little bit of empathy, but not much sympathy. All right, shotgun snap for Brissett. He's going to roll back. Scott's going to have to get out of the pocket there, gets sacked, taken down by Myles Murphy. There you go. Good to see him coming up and making some plays, man. It'll be 4th down. The Bengals are going to get the ball back after a punt, unless the Cardinals are absolutely insane. And by absolutely insane, I mean absolutely insane. Like, it's going to be like 4th and 13 now, I think, from like the 35-yard line. So they would be out of their minds to try to go for it here. Especially in the third quarter. Yeah, they're punting. I didn't think they would. But anyway, that's going to be returned by Williams. And he's going to try to dance around. Doesn't really get a whole lot there. Gets it out to about the 16-yard line, and that's where the Bengals offense is going to have it. This playoff team... Oh, wait, sorry. Wow, this team looks really good. Surely they're in playoff contention or secured already. Right? That's what I'm fucking pissed about, man. Because, like, this is... Like, I said this in the Dolphins game. This is the team we should have been getting this year. You know, like, I mean, obviously you're not going to get a dominant performance against every team, but against the bad teams like the Jets and what we thought might be the Bears at the time, we should at least have won those games. And then Jake Browning, obviously, like, we should have beat the Vikings, you know, from that perspective anyway. It's going to be a handoff to Chase Brown, gets it out to about the 20-yard line, 4-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 6. But, like, man, if they had looked like this against the bad teams this year, then I bet you anything we'd have like at least 3 more wins than we do right now. Let's see, probably would have beaten the Patriots, honestly. But then again, I'm not going to count that one. Would have beaten the Jets, probably would have beaten the Bears. Probably would have gotten it done against the Packers instead of what happened. It's going to be a short toss to Jamar Chase. He gets tackled in the backfield for about a 2-yard, maybe a 1.5-yard loss. Be 3rd down and 8 or 9, roughly. Probably would have beaten the Vikings because without Jake Browning melting down, that's a way closer game. I'd say we should have beaten the Broncos, but you know, I'd say we should have beaten the Lions, but you know, if we're just talking bad teams that we should have beaten with a more functioning team this year, we'd have at least 1, 2, arguably 3 more wins right now. Joe Burrow shotgun snap. He's going to throw it up deep. He's got Tee Higgins who catches it. There we go. That's a bomb. That's about 40 yards or so, I want to say. But yeah, right now we'd be 7 and 8 instead of 5 and 10. And while 7 and 8 isn't really super remarkable, it would put us right in the thick of things in our division, right? Like we beat, I think, 2 games behind the Steelers. Well, no, okay, so maybe at this point we would actually still be eliminated because if we're 2 games behind the Steelers, and they only have 2 games left to play, I don't know how that would work. I wonder if maybe we would win the tiebreaker over them if we both finish 9 and 8. But that's the thing, we could be potentially looking at a 9 and 8 season right now instead of a 7 and 10 at best season, 5 and 12 at worst. But probably not going to happen because we're kind of still dominating the Cardinals right now as Chase Brown takes a handoff for about 6-ish yards. We lost you for a good bit. I don't know what's up, man. Like, I mean, I'm not having any... it must be a YouTube thing. I wonder if OBS needs updated or something. That's weird. My internet's fine. I think it's OBS being weird. I did see OBS potentially needed updated as Chase Brown takes a handoff for about 1.5 yards. Akeem Davis-Gaither in on the tackle, which makes me sad. I liked him here. But anyway, it'll be 3rd and 2. My internet's working fine. I'm not having any connectivity issues as far as outgoing or, like, I guess, incoming. But I think OBS maybe needs updated, so that might be part of it, because I think I've been pushing off an update on OBS, so hopefully I remember to do that after the stream's over. 3rd and 2. 10, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun snap. Joe Burrow throws. Tee Higgins caught for about a 6-yard gain. That's going to be another Bengals first down. There we go. Yeah, my guess is it's OBS, because I think OBS needs to update. So it's probably starting to get kind of buggy. If I had to bet, that's probably what's going on. I don't know. But it's not my internet, because my internet, I haven't had the game stream freeze or anything like that. Haven't had any problem loading web pages, so I think it's probably OBS. All right, Joe Burrow shotgun formation, takes a snap, rolls back, gets pressure a little bit, gonna end up throwing that ball away. Do I have like a stream? I used to have a stream health thing. I don't even see that anymore. And it says excellent. I know it says an excellent connection. I think it might just be OBS bugging. I think it's just OBS bugging. I'm probably going to have to update it, and it should be fine after that. Because it has been trying to update for like a month now, and I keep forgetting to do it. In OBS's defense, I think it does need to update. All right, well, the Bengals have the ball at the 28-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 10, shotgun snap. Burrow throws. He's got Jamar Chase on a screen pass, and that's a nice play there. Picks up a lane and gets the first down. There you go. Bengals offense is moving the ball again. Oh, God. Ugh. Maybe that 44-22 scoreline might even be a little over-optimistic on the Cardinals' part, right? My thought process is they're probably going to score another, they're probably going to score here again at some point, and then they'll probably get a garbage time touchdown. That's part of my thought process. So it's going to be a handoff, Chase Brown, and he gets past one tackle, picks up about 5 total. All right. The death of the angry water. Bengals don't really need to play angry too much, and especially if they get Bengals get in the end zone here, I think it's just game management for the rest of the night, honestly. 8:37, and there's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Chase Brown. He does get out of one tackle, so he doesn't lose any yards, but he only gets back to the line of scrimmage. So, we 3rd down, and hopefully the offensive drive doesn't stall here. If it does, we'll probably get a field goal, but all right. Colts are still leading Jaguars 10-7. Browns are still leading the Steelers 10-6. Titans are still leading the Saints 20-10. Dolphins are still leading nothing's changed, man. 17-7. Patriots have let the Jets score, so now it's 35-3. So the only score that's happened so far is I think the Bengals touchdown and the Panthers appear to have gotten a field goal. And the Jets have it. No, because the Panthers did have it. It was 3-3. So the Jets have gotten a field goal and the Bengals have gotten a touchdown. And other than that, there's been no scoring across the whole NFL. And it's going to be a neutral zone infraction on the Cardinals. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Good Christ. That was indeed. He did jump early. Josh Sweat. All right. So the Bengals got the ball. I think they have the ball at the 6-yard line now. Yeah, look, about the 6.5-ish. Be a handoff, Chase Brown. He makes a cut, and I think he gets in for another touchdown. Boom! Looking like that drive might stall, but the Cardinals made our lives a lot easier by shooting themselves in the foot. All right. Bengals take a 29-7 lead pending the extra point. And to get to my final score prediction, by the way, it is the 3rd quarter. I should probably update that. We are in the 3rd quarter. Bengals have a 29-7 lead pending the extra point. And if he gets it, then all we need is 2 touchdowns to get to the 44-point prediction, which seems fairly realistic. All right, kick is up. It's good. And based on all that, I think 44 points sounds pretty possible. Honestly, it seems like the Cardinals getting to 22 is probably the least likely part of it, right? Partially because that's 15 points, so they'd have to get like a 2-point conversion. But the Cardinals getting to 21 is possibly a thing, because like I said, garbage time touchdowns are a thing, and you're arguably already kind of entering garbage time because it's 30-7. Midway through the 3rd quarter. You could maybe. I'm not saying the Bengals should think of it as garbage time, but I'm saying we as fans might be able to consider it garbage time at this point. So, if there's one thing the Bengals defense likes doing, it's giving up garbage time touchdowns when the game's over. Now, obviously, they blow leads way before that, many times this season. But, almost, I can't think of a single time the Bengals defense has played well, and then they blew out an opponent, and then they held the score through the rest of the game. Like, that's just not who they are. Jets faked a punt and got it. Color me impressed and shocked. Well, give them something. The Bengals are beating these Cardinals like a drum, which is exactly what I was saying going into this game. Now that the season's over, they're gonna play really well, right? That's how it always goes. They're gonna kick ass down the stretch, and then next year we're gonna be like, well, they looked pretty good at the end last year there, and then we're just gonna trick ourselves into thinking they're gonna be anything fucking next year because of that. Then again, I do really think that if Joe Burrow hadn't gotten hurt, then it wouldn't have turned out this way this year. I think there's a distinct possibility we could have started 5-0. I know the Broncos are a tough win, regardless of the fact that they always look beatable. They've won almost all their games like that. So who knows what would have happened with the Broncos, but I feel like Jake Browning melting down the way he melted down in basically every game he played in, it wouldn't have happened that way with Joe Burrow, and then we might, because we started 2-0 with Joe Burrow, and then maybe we start 5-0, and if we're starting 5-0 and then we do beat the Jets and the Bears like I said we should have, then that's so like I was saying earlier, that's putting on us at 7 wins right now. If I just given them the 3 extra wins, but if you give them 5 extra wins, then the Bengals are already at 9, and they're right in on pace with the Steelers. Like, it's like, they win today and the Steelers lose today, and I think the Bengals might win the division if things had gone the way that I thought that they might have a chance of going this year. The difference is that the Bengals are on pace for an 11-win season this year instead of a 7-win season. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But that's the calling card of the Bengals every year, right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda done this, coulda done that. Jaguars do take a lead over the Colts, so that's no longer a thing. The Jaguars, there's a rushing touchdown. I didn't see who it was, but Jaguars take a 14-10 lead over the Colts. Browns are still maintaining that 10-6 lead over the Steelers. Saints looked like they scored, so they're now trailing 20-17. Jacoby Brissett winds up and throws for number 84 there. That is knocked away. I believe it was Dax Hill who knocked that ball away. Anything else? Nothing else has changed. So the only things that have really changed so far is the Saints have gotten a touchdown and the Jaguars have gotten a touchdown. Now the difference being the Jaguars are now in the lead of their game and the Saints are still trailing the Titans, but everything else is virtually the same, including the Bengals now at 30-7 instead of 23-7. So come on, defense. I'd love to be wrong about the Bengals defense doing better than I thought. Nice play by Demetrius Knight to get to Trey McBride as soon as that ball's caught, and I think he's maybe going to get a yard. Maybe. Okay, now going for it on our side is understandable, but didn't work. Nice try, Jets. Well, Dax has quite a few pass breakups today. Yeah, dude, Dax is really kind of settling into this slot corner role. I think that's another guy who's been developing with Al Golden, which is a guy who did not develop at all when Lou Anarumo was here. Dax, Miles Murphy is another one who didn't develop at all, who's kind of developing a little bit now. DJ Turner, another one. Jacoby Brissett, shotgun snap. He's going to throw to his way thrown the wrong direction to Wilson there. There is a flag, but it's thrown in the backfield, so I'm guessing there's going to be like holding on the Cardinals or something. Bengals will probably decline it because it'll be 4th down. Illegal formation on the offense. Okay, so it was on the Cardinals, but it wasn't holding. But I didn't see what happened. I just assumed it'd be holding or something like that based off of where the flag was called. So I'd imagine the Bengals are going to decline that, go to 4th down. Why is May still in? Put DeVito in. Yeah, I would. I'd give your quarterback some rest there myself. But Mike Vrabel's a different person than me. There's a flag on the return, and Williams gets it out to about the 41-yard line, because it wasn't really a phenomenal punt by their punter. Very different than the really amazing punt he had earlier that pinned us at the 2-yard line from all the way to the other side of the field. Like, that was one of the best punts I've ever seen. Holding on the receiving team, so that's going to back us up a little bit. Kind of a shame because it didn't even do anything for us. You're just going to get, you're risking it for nothing, essentially. Seahawks get a touchdown, and so they are up over the Panthers 10-3. So, well, looking like that NFC South game next week is going to be for the tank division. But so is likely Steelers-Ravens, as long as the Browns can hold on to this win. Now, that's asking a lot. We're not even in the fourth quarter in that game yet, and it's still only 10-6. But the Browns' defense has been doing well, so you never know. Patriots lead 42-3. Woo! Dude, put DeVito in now. Like, just don't even like Drake May. Great job, buddy. Go sit down. We need you in the playoffs, man. That's what I would do. Like, just let it be. Now, let's see. Have the Patriots already clinched the division? Because it doesn't look like there's any clinching scenarios for the Patriots this week. So have the Patriots already clinched, is my question. What parallel universe am I in where we're good again? Honestly, we don't deserve it after years of Brady. Yeah, you went through some lean years, and, if you put a good team together, you put a good team together. But, like, here's the thing. Like, I wouldn't say, like, I don't... The Patriots have been good this year, but, like, I wouldn't say, like, the Patriots are, like, the team to beat this year, right? Like, they're good, but I wouldn't say, like, the Patriots are, like, they're not back to where they were at, like, the peak of Tom Brady. It's not quite there. But, yes, you are good again, so, good for you. Hopefully we can get there. Again. Hasn't been quite as long for us, but, we didn't have a dynasty either. We would have, had we beaten the Bills, but now beat the Jets and we steal it from the Bills. They need to win their last two and we lose our last two. Right, that's what I'm saying. So don't you clinch if you win today. That's what I'm saying. All right. Well, the Bengals have the ball now at the 18-yard line. Joe Burrow is going to do a draw play of some sort. Hands it off. Chase Brown picks up about 3 yards. Be 2nd and 7. Go Browns. Go Browns. Now, I will say, the Bengals game is likely to... Well, actually, no. I was going to say the Bengals game is likely to finish before the Browns game, but that's not true. Browns game is actually likely to finish before the Bengals game. So, I was going to say we might switch over to that game, but nah, probably not going to happen. Only game really potentially worth switching over to would be the Colts and Jaguars. I'm not sure I care that much. Jamar Chase is going to get the toss there for about 2 more yards, and so it's going to be 3rd and 5, I believe, after all that. But yeah, as far as games the Bengals are actually ahead of right now, it's the Jaguars and Colts, which I'm not sure I care that much to switch over to. And then the Patriots-Jets we're ahead of, but why on earth would I switch over to a blowout? And then Seahawks-Panthers, which has nothing to do with the Bengals, and why would I care? Or if anything, I really am worried about at all. Not even AFC stuff. Tanner Hudson's going to get the catch, and he manages to drag a couple of Cardinals defenders for about 10 yards more than he necessarily needed to get from that. So the Bengals going to have the ball about the 40-ish yard line now. Good to see. Fucking shame they couldn't put this shit together before the season was over. But, I still like to see my team winning, even if it's a meaningless game. All right. Burrow from the 40.5-yard line. He's going to hand the ball off. And that's Taj Brooks, getting your Taj Brooks sighting there, stranger. He picks up about 4 yards, I think, before he gets taken down. Correction, we need to win and the Bills to lose. Okay. Have to root for the She-Eagles. Well, wouldn't you rather root for them than the Bills, though? Jamar is now the first player in NFL history to have at least 80 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 7 miles D receptions in each of his first 5 seasons. I'm confused. That's pretty cool, though. Not sure what miles D is, but Joe Burrow's dancing around in the backfield. He's just going to have to throw it away and get rid of it. And that's the right move. That's something that he wouldn't do much at the beginning of the season. So I like to see that he's got more of an idea of how to take care of the football right now, you know? If we don't score on this drive, we're winning 30-7, you know? Just don't do anything catastrophic. 7 touchdown receptions, okay. First player in NFL history to have at least 80 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdown receptions in each of his first 5 seasons. There you go. Rooting for the tie. Oh, for the Eagles and Bills. That'd be pretty funny. All right, Joe Burrow's going to step up in the pocket, and he is going to eventually throw it. He's got Mike Gesicki, so that's one of those situations where he held on to the ball, and he managed to make it work out pretty well. But he also got well out of harm's way as well. So, looking like he was thinking about running the ball, but, eventually found Mike Gesicki open. I think that's what he was doing. He was trying to, check to see if Gesicki was going to get it. And if not, he was just going to try to run. And also keeping the linebacker on his heels just in case he did try to run. Miles was an auto incorrect. Buffered briefly again. I don't know what's up with OBS, man. Sorry. I don't know what's up with it. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Burrow is going to throw, and he's got Cody Ford, who must have reported as eligible. So that's and motherfucker got 15 yards on that pass too. He's fucking hyped. God damn, Cody Ford was the wideout. Cody Ford was all the way on the right. Good lord, we're just pulling trick plays on him at this point. And you had Burke, number 29 there, who was playing ultra soft coverage because he probably figured they wouldn't actually throw it to the right tackle, but they did. Gotta love it, man. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line now. Chase Brown takes the handoff, squeezes forward, and I think he got the touchdown on the second effort. There we go. Bengals pick up the touchdown. We're 1 touchdown away from 44, y'all. Pending the extra point, of course. 36-7. Woo, Ford rumbling, bumbling, stumbling on his birthday. Is it his birthday? There you go. Happy birthday, Cody Ford. Too bad you didn't get in the end zone. That would have been even cooler. But great play. Phenomenal play by Cody Ford. And I've never been the biggest Cody Ford fan, to be clear. But, I mostly just because I don't think he's that great. But he is a member of the Cincinnati Bengals, so I like him. All right, 36-7, pending the extra point. Pending the extra point. We're 1 touchdown away from my Bengals score prediction being correct. We are still 15 points. We're still 2 Cardinals touchdowns away, though. So, seems possible, though. Seems very possible, especially if the offense keeps kind of moving that way. Oh, yeah, he was. Unless the elbow being down matters, but I don't think it does. But, yeah, man. We are an extra point and a touchdown away from me correctly predicting the Bengals to get 44 points. And we are 15 points away from the Cardinals, which seems a lot less likely because I'm not entirely sure why they would go for 2. I would think they just take the extra point and be happy with points at this point because I think they're a little too far behind to be bothering with 2-point conversions. Then again, we did miss an extra point. So maybe maybe you do go for the 2 just to like capitalize on that, like in just in case of like a miracle type of situation. Maybe having that 2-point conversion in your back pocket would be nice. So, maybe you go for it anyway. I'm kind of hoping they do. Might be on the 1 millimeter line. I don't think so. It depends on like if does his elbow coming down matter? Because if his elbow coming down matters, then yeah. But I don't think it does. Could be wrong. Either way, they're gonna tush push and get it in probably. Until I see another indication on the broadcast, I'm going to keep the score the same because it looked to me like they just called it a touchdown. Oh, okay. So I accidentally saw this on ESPN, but they are going to reverse that touchdown. So they are saying that's going to be about a couple, like an inch or so short. So, unfortunate, but okay. Time for a tush push. The Browns, with 12:53 left to go in the fourth, are still up 10-6. That defense is still holding it for them, and they've got the ball at the 44-yard line, so that's good. Titans got another touchdown. They're up 23-17 over the Saints. That sucks. Buccaneers got, I think, a field goal, so they're only down by a touchdown now. And the Seahawks are up 17-3, so that's probably about, that's the Seahawks are starting to pull away in that one. All right, well, they're calling it 2nd and goal now. All right, let's. Like I said, my guess was tush push here, although they are putting Cody Ford in at fullback. Interestingly enough, and the Bengals stadium is chanting Cody, Cody, Cody. So they might have a big man rumble here. Who knows? Or they'll do a tush push and just have Cody Ford push him. That might happen. Who knows? Maybe the Cardinals get out of the way because they're like, "Happy birthday, sir." All right, it is not going to be a handoff to either of them. Joe Burrow is going to throw it, attempting to get Noah Fant, and that is going to be tipped and knocked to the ground. So it's going to be 3rd and goal now. Tush push? I don't know why they're not tush pushing. Cody Ford going off the field. They tried, didn't work. They tried, didn't work. Elbow matters, any body part. Okay, I thought. Okay, I didn't think the elbow would be part of it, but fair enough. Gonna be a handoff, Chase Brown. That time he does get into the end zone. Never gets taken down at all. So now we got the 36, pending the extra point to get to 37. So we're good now. Boswell missed. Ha! Fuck you, Steelers. Bitch asses. I'm going to bring that game cast up at the very least. I love that Boswell missed that. Let's go. It was wide right from 54-yard attempt. Missed it. Got to love it. All right, come on, Mac. Keep my score prediction alive. Kick is up, and that's good. And the Bengals take a 37-7 lead. And we need one more Bengals touchdown and 15 more points from the Cardinals. So, at least I can say I wasn't crazy to think that the Bengals were going to blow out the Cardinals. At least I can say I wasn't crazy about that. The apocalypse is here. Browns lead 10-6 still. It's because the Steelers are garbage, man. Crowds chanting Cody. Yep, they sure are. The Pastronaut is in. The Pastronaut. First pass, he gets 20. There you go. Who's the Pastronaut? Colts are up 17-14 on the Jaguars now, so they must have gotten a touchdown or something. Browns up 10-6 on the Steelers. Titans, the Saints scored again, so their Titans are only up 23-20 there. Dolphins up 17-10 over the Buccaneers. Patriots still up 42-3 over the Jets. Looks like Josh Dobbs is in for the Patriots. So is he the pastronaut? Seahawks still up 17-3 on the Panthers. Dobbs. It is Dobbs. Was Josh Dobbs an astronaut? Oh, he just loves space. Okay. Okay. Boosts his NASA profile with NFL success. Josh Dobbs, meteoric rise has created different kind of buzz. While the Josh Dobbs effect might not be an actual scientific finding, there is some evidence that Dobbs, a quarterback, an aerospace engineer. What? He is also an aerospace engineer. What the fuck? So he's not an astronaut, but he's an aerospace engineer, apparently. What on earth? Congratulations, Josh Dobbs, on yesterday's big win. Looks like you rocket on and off the field. We heard you even got a new nickname, the Pastronaut. What the I'd never heard of any of this. What the hell? He wants to go to space. Okay. Kickoff is away, and the Cardinals are going to return that and get about the 20, 30 something. I don't even care. He has an aerodynamic degree, but it is mean to say he is an older Caillou. That's funny. Because of the alopecia. Okay, it's still funny, though. I'm sure he probably thinks it's funny. Like, I feel like if you got something like that, but you're also successful in some ways as like a whatever you're trying to do in your career, you probably, like, with something like that, you probably just gotta, like, laugh at it because, you know, there's no point in letting it get to you. I would think. Josh Dobbs gonna hand the ball off to Amari DiMarcado, and he is taken down by TJ Slayton for maybe like a half a yard. And yet somehow, despite having 37 points, we're still not the highest scoring team in the NFL this week. That is currently... Oh, nice! Shamar Stewart gets a sack on Jacoby Brissett. I didn't even realize Shamar Stewart was playing. That's good to see. Good to see him developing, too. That's another guy, man. That's another guy who's, like, had more flashes than you'd expect if Lou Anarumo was his coach. Yeah, I like enough of what I see out of Al Golden to feel like he deserves a second chance. Nice play by Geno Stone to knock that ball away, although they might call pass interference here. See what they got. Illegal man downfield on the Bengals? What? I'm ineligible. Are they saying 13 men on the field? They're saying 13 men on the field on the Bengals. Okay. And Jacoby Brissett pointed that out too. So I thought he was trying to argue for pass interference, but he was just, like, hey, you got to call that guy who was, rushing off the field. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now after all that. Brissett, shotgun snap, rolls back, throws, caught by Trey McBride, who makes a man miss and dives over Jalen Davis for the first down. Damn. What's the kid from the Bill Cosby series, Little Bill? He's just an older him. Yeah, I've made that comparison before. I think it's funny. Was that Shamar's first NFL sack? No, I think he's gotten another one this year, didn't he? Like earlier in the season. And that is going to be another sack on Jacoby Brissett. And this one's TJ Slayton combining with somebody else I didn't see. Didn't see who the other, but it was definitely TJ Slayton on the sack. 96. Is that Cam Sample? I guess that must have been Cam Sample. Okay, so Shamar Stewart. Oh yeah, I guess he hasn't had a sack. I swear I thought he had a sack this year. I could be wrong though. Maybe he just had a bunch of tackles for losses or something. Not a bunch, but some tackles for losses. So yeah, I guess that is his first NFL sack. You know, a meaningless sack in a meaningless game, but nonetheless. Borregales doinked, still 42-3. Just like Chris Boswell doinked. And yet the Browns offense is just garbage. Can't get anything done. Luckily, the Browns defense looks to be pretty good. Shamar Stewart threw an interception. That's what happened. It was 2nd and 5 from the Browns 49. So, interesting. Rodgers throws an incompletion, so it's going to be 4th down from the Browns 46-yard line, so I think they're going to have to punt. Although it is kind of no man's land. I could almost see them going for it since their defense has been playing pretty well. But then again, do you really want to give the Browns the ball at the 46? I mean, you know, if Shamar Stewart does get something going, that seems like the opportunity to do it. So I don't know. Hard to say. I wonder if I even can get that game right now. Because I can't switch over to games like I used to. I don't even know. It's like this can't be the only game it's on, right? Like there's usually like a doubleheader. I don't see another one on though. Yeah, I think the only game I'm getting is the Bengals game, which is I'm fine. I'd rather have the Bengals game than anything else, but yep. Well. That game is well ahead of the Bengals game, though, because we are currently heading into the 4th quarter, so I need to go ahead and update the scoreboard. So it's not going to matter because the Cardinal or the Browns game is going to be over before this Bengals Cardinals game is over. All right, on 2nd and 19, it's going to be a pass from Jacoby Brissett, and he gets it to Wilson, who picks up about 12, 13 yards. Pretty decent play there. So it's going to be 3rd down and less than 10 to go at the very least. I didn't even see what exactly they got there. Carlos Waitman is indeed punting there. So the Browns going to get the ball at the 12-yard line, most likely going to do nothing with it. Nice! That is off the hands, and the Bengals defense holds again to 4th and 5. And frankly, Cardinals are probably just going to have to go for it because we're already in the 4th quarter and you're losing 37-7. Unless you're giving up on the game, you probably got to go for it at this point. Good play by DJ Turner to do what needed to be done there. Now, I will say Geno Stone kind of coming in a little late there on the hit. Could have been a hit on the defenseless receiver, but luckily not called by the refs. What a stat line for May, 19 for 21, 256, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. You mean Shitter Sanders, not Shamar Stewart? What? What about Shamar Stewart? Oh, man. Oh, Bengals let a big play go in the middle of the field there to Weaver, number 89. 4th and 5, they bite the dust, which is pretty normal for them. According to this, their number 39 is a punter named Matt Hack, and that definitely was not who that was, so couldn't have been 39, right? It had to have been, like, there's no wide receiver who's number 39, so I don't know who the hell that was who caught the pass. Um, well, annoying, but, if the Cardinals get in the end zone, then that helps my score prediction. So, Emari Demercado takes the handoff, doesn't get a whole lot, but it is going to be enough for the first down, and the Cardinals offense is driving. Rejoice, Jets fans, only 15 more minutes of torture into the fourth quarter. Yeah, but they got to play next week too, Richard. Like, come on. Have a heart. Wow, terrible pass by Brissett was closer to being intercepted than anything. That was so far away from the receiver, you could almost call it intentional grounding. I think it was a bad pass, but... I said Shamar Stewart threw a pick. Oops. Oh well. Shitter Sanders. They play the Bills next week too. It's going to be another blowout. That's what I'm saying. Have a heart, man. These poor Jets fans are going to have to watch their team for a whole nother week after this. Be nice for them if they played the Bengals every week. Brissett rolls back, throws, caught by Demercado, only gets about 2 yards on the catch. So it's going to be 3rd and 8 now. I swear to God, if the Cardinals take a field goal here and ruin my score prediction, I'm going to come down there to, I'm going to come down there to Paycor Stadium, and I'm going to have me some roast bird for dinner. Don't you ruin my score prediction now. Ooh, big rush by Cedric Johnson, and Brissett gets out of it, and he gets the ball off to Weaver for, it's 89, not 39. So he gets the ball off to Weaver for like 2 yards. Just go for it, man. Just fucking go for it. Don't take the field goal. Xavier Weaver, by the way. Like, what's a field goal do for you here? Just go for it. Take the chance. I think they're going to. Brees just ran for 60 yards on us. Damn Swiss cheese run defense. Are you complaining, Richard? Are you complaining? You're up 42-3. I wouldn't complain if I were you. Ooh, Browns are in scoring range. Let's go. Somehow. I don't know how that happened. Jacoby Brissett throws, and that is going to be picked, I think. Nope, it was caught by Trey McBride. But it's 4th and 7, and they got like maybe a yard out of that, so that's going to be a turnover on downs. Well, that was their best opportunity to get a touchdown, so they might not be able to get that score prediction after all. Oh well. Jags and Colts are tied 17-17. Now that's a game. I might, honestly, if it's going to be that close, I might switch over to that game after this. If I can even get it. I might not even be able to get it. Because I would have thought there would be a doubleheader, but I guess there's not. Bleeping missed tackles. Yep. The Browns. Okay, I thought the Browns were in field goal range, but they weren't. They were just deep in deep in their own territory. So, 4th down and 4, they're going to have to punt from here. And they do. And 64 yards, returned about the 25-yard line, and that... returned 25 yards to the Steelers' 43. That's not good. Dax was there for the pick, but the Cards tight end had the body weight to win the airborne position. It's still a turnover on downs, so whatever. It's a stat thing at that point. 42-10, I'll complain about run defense. It's not great. No way it's top 7 like it says on Google search. You're winning 42-10, my friend. I'd let it go. The only reason you ever complain, in my opinion, like a valid complaint, if you're blowing the other team out, that you let points up, is if you're trying to get a shutout. But if you've already given them a field goal at this point, just who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Even me, I don't care if the Bengals defense gives them 26 more points the rest of the game. 27, 28, 29 more points, Well, maybe 29. I think I'd probably care about 29. Unless we get another touchdown. I don't give a shit if they give up 28 more points to the Cardinals the rest of the game. That's fine with me, Unless we were going for a shutout. Doesn't matter to me at all. Just saying Dax with the effort. Oh, yes. Dax, good effort by him. Probably wasn't all that necessary, but it's okay. I got Carson Palmer up on the screen. I don't want to see that. Oh, because of the Cardinals connection. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Richard. All right, going to be a handoff to Chase Brown, and he picks up about 3 yards. Not a whole lot there. Davis is injured, and Westover on the return. FML. Yeah, and now that's a reason to complain. Guys getting injured, and you don't want a big blowout to turn into losing dudes, right? We got Joe Flacco in there. Oh boy, I might have to change jerseys, y'all. Bengals have officially given Joe Burrow the rest of the day off. So, on the next opportunity, I might have to bust out the Flacco jersey. Let's see, Flacco is going to hand the ball off. He's got Chase Brown, and that's going to be another 3 yards pick. Joe Flacco jersey. Put that on, I think, after the next play. Bryce Young scrambling and picking up the touchdown, so that game is back within a touchdown at the very least. It's 17-10. I assume that they got the extra point. All right, let's see. Joe Flacco from the 20 takes a shotgun snap. 3rd and 5, scrambling out, and he's going to run for it, and he picks up another rushing first down. Joe Flacco. The man. Plan. All right, I'm going to put the Joe Flacco jersey on. A man with a plan. Joe Flacco, the old man who's somehow not even close to the oldest player in the NFL right now. I guess he's kind of close. He's 42, right? I mean, he's no Phillip Rivers, but he's pretty old, I think. Got a lot of really old quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Got that Joe Flacco jersey. 1st and 10. Flacco from the 25. He throws it to Taj Brooks, who I think managed to pick up a first down after all that. There you go. Burrow is now tied with Palmer all-time touchdown passes. Burrow's in year 5. Or 6. Hold on. 20... 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, Burrow's in year 6. Burrow's in year 6, and he's tied with Palmer for touchdown passes. That just goes to show you how the game has changed, honestly. Because, Carson Palmer was a good quarterback. Carson Palmer was a damn good quarterback. Now, he did have a lot of injury issues in Cincinnati, to be fair. And he had some in Arizona. So I guess that wasn't, they're going to say that wasn't the first down, but after the rush on the next play, it's going to be a first down. Joe Flacco out there beaming and smiling. Here's hoping Joe can stay healthy enough over the next several seasons to beat Dalton's all-time touchdown pass record. I'm sure he will, Jay. I'm sure he will. Taj. Yep. Look, man. I've said how I feel about Taj Brooks. Not I don't dislike him or anything, but I don't think he's anything to get excited about. But he's a Bengal. I hope he does well. All right. Flacco's going to dirt that one because he had a guy right in his face. And that might even be intentional grounding, honestly. They're not calling it. Okay. Love Brooks getting reps. Yeah. I don't think there's much to it, but, I hope he does well. I'd love to see him, become, the successor to Samaje Perine, more or less. That'd be pretty cool. Carve out a big role with the team. I'd like to see that. I don't know if I believe he's got much to him, but, Brooks is the Perine understudy, but how's he as a blocker? That's my biggest thing. Ooh, nice! That is a snipe pass to Yoshi by Joe Flacco, and Cardinals player tried to like jump in front of it, but it didn't work at all, and that just left Yoshi wide open to get the first down. Gotta love it. Let's go, old man Flacco. Old man Flacco. Let's go. Flacco. I'm sorry we couldn't do better for you against the Jets and the Bears, Mr. Flacco. But it's fascinating to see him in stripes, regardless of this context. Especially because, like, you know, he was, you know, always kind of like... The Bengals actually kind of had Joe Flacco's number when he was in Baltimore. You know, the Bengals beat him more often than they lost to him, I think. Kind of crazy. Brooks was a very good pass blocker in college. Oh, was he? Okay. Part of why I was so high on him in the draft. Okay, well then, yeah, he probably is the P. Ryan understudy. So, you know what? If that's the case, then I'll give you that, stranger. I didn't realize he was a good pass blocker in college. Because I swear I've looked him up. I didn't see that. But I could be wrong. All right, Flacco from the roughly about the 50.5-yard line. Well, not 50.5. That's no such thing. So it's like the 49.5. It's going to be a throw over the middle to Williams. Keyshawn Williams for about a 5-yard gain. Notice you skipped my comment, didn't want to speak into reality. What did you say? Pick 6 incoming. I didn't see it. My brain's probably... Maybe my brain was trying to protect me. You do want the Cardinals to score. I do, but... I do, but I don't know if I want Flacco to throw a pick 6. I just put his jersey on, man. Like, don't do that to me. I don't know. I think if the Bengals can get to 44, I'll be happy enough with that, because getting the Cardinals to 22 seems pretty unlikely. And I'm happy with the Bengals defense playing better than I thought they would. So, anyway, as I say that, Joe Flacco misfires, and it's 4th and 4, and the Bengals going to have to punt. 6:28 left to go. And, yep, not much there. Brooks was only day 2 or 3 running back with a pass blocking score over 70 or over 60. Oh, wow. It's crazy. Ooh, nice punt and nice coverage by the Bengals there. Going to down that about the 7, but almost down that about like the 1. See, that's the thing about Ryan Rico. That man's got some talent. He just, like, doesn't really seem to do it when it really matters. Or when he does, he's super inconsistent with it, you know? All right, well, let's see what's going on with the rest of these games. You got the Jaguars and Colts tied 17-17 still, although the Jaguars are in field goal range, so I would imagine they're likely going to take this over. The Browns-Steelers game is actually almost over. Browns probably about to punt it back to the Steelers. They're up 10-6, but this is going to probably, with 3:24 left to go in that game, this might be the Steelers' last opportunity. If the Browns defense can hold, they're going to win that game. Titans up 26-20 on the Saints. Dolphins up 20-10 on the Buccaneers. Patriots up 42-10 on the Jets, and the Seahawks are up 17-10 on the Panthers. So, I think it's going to be an interesting finish to the NFC South, because I think if the Buccaneers lose, if the Buccaneers and the Panthers both lose, which is looking like what's likely to happen, if the Buccaneers and Panthers both lose, then the let's see, that put the Panthers at 8-8. So there's a chance that the Buccaneers could win the division next week with an 8-9 record. That's woo. We were talking about the AFC North having like a shitty team win the division this year, but it's looking like let's see, with the Steelers losing today, that'd mean that, you know, you'd have to get it'd be a 9-8 team. Either the Steelers winning at 10-7 or the Ravens winning at 9-8. So next week with the NFC South, if the scores hold, then you've got a chance of having an 8-9 team win the division. Unless the Panthers win and then they win it at 9-8. But yeah, right now there's a higher probability of, well, no, there is a probability. Like the AFC North is actually not currently arguably the worst division in the NFL. You could argue it's the NFC South. All these ties between my team and Mikey's team. That's crazy. Titans also have the ball right now, although it's 4th and 6. I'd imagine they're about to punt. 1st and 10, Jacoby Brissett is going to take the shotgun snap. He throws it, and that is man, Shaka Hayward almost picked that one off of the ricochet, but no such luck. I think it was Amari DeMarcado who dropped that one. Steelers have the ball at the 20-yard line with 2:16 left to go in the game, so this is probably it for them. Wonder if I can just turn Gamecast on and see what happens. All right. Brissett, shotgun snap, throws, caught, and that is going to be about a 5-yard pickup, so the Cardinals going to get the ball. Going to be about 3rd and 5. See if we can hold them there. All right, Brissett rolls back, throws, caught by Wilson. That's going to be a first down for the Cardinals. I wonder if I can get this Steelers-Browns game on my phone. That would be interesting. I don't know if I can, but I can try. All right, it's going to be a handoff to Michael Carter, who picks up about 4 yards. And he is going to not be taken down, but is going to be stopped after about a 4-yard pickup. All right, it's going to be a toss to Trey McBride for about 3 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and inches, likely, after all that. All right, 3rd and 1 now. Brissett is going to roll back. He's going to throw. I think they called that a first down because they put that in the wrong spot on the thing. So 2nd and 1. Now the broadcast is saying it's 2nd and 1? What? 2nd and 10. Okay, so I guess they must have called that a first down then for the Cardinals. Trying to see if I can get this Browns game on my phone at all. Probably not, but might as well try. All right. Brissett winds up, throws, and shotgun, and he's got Trey McBride for about 5 yards. Okay. I do have the Browns Steelers game. Okay. It looks like it's 3rd and 10. Nice. All right, DeMarcado is going to take the handoff, and he picks up a first down out of that. Okay, so I do have this Browns-Steelers game on my phone at the very least. So it is going to be 3rd and 10 now. Browns up 10-6. Likely going to win this game if they can stop him here. So anyway, Jacoby Brissett's dancing around in the backfield, trying to get out to the left. He's just got to throw that ball away. And Aaron Rodgers throws that ball to the ground, and it's going to be 4th and 10. And I would imagine, the Steelers are pretty backed up here. 2 minutes left to go. You probably got to punt and not risk putting the Browns in easy field goal range, right? Especially on 4th and 10. Yeah, Rodgers couldn't even get it to his guy. Now, Rodgers is still out on the field. So, if you're going to have anybody try to pull a miracle off at the end of the game, I guess Rodgers is the guy to do it. But we'll see. Jacoby Brissett, shotgun snap, rolls back. He's going to throw it up deep. And that is dropped. Ooh, almost caught by Wilson, but DJ Ivey gets his hands in there and it's dropped. And the Browns hold the Steelers on 4th down. And it's looking like the Browns are a first down away from winning this football game. Let's go. I'm not bitter at all. Choked the South. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Not necessarily. You could still win next week, right? I think. If you beat the Panthers next week, I think you win. Close to OPI there. It's close, but they've been really not calling a lot today. You know, they've been really kind of like hands off with the flags, which I appreciate. All right, Brissett throws caught, and that is Amari DiMarcado for about 5-6 yards or so. I think I've got red zone up here. I think that's what I got. Cool. Right now they're showing the Bengals game. I've already got the Bengals game up. I don't have that issue. McBride just set the tight end single season reception record. Good for him, stranger. In a 37-7 blowout. That might even end up being more. Probably not. The Bengals are probably just going to, like, when they get the ball back, they'll probably just be conservative and run the clock out. Most receptions in a season by a tight end. Trey McBride with 117 just beat out Zach Ertz, who had the record in 2018. Prior to that was Evan Ingram with the Jaguars, apparently. Browns win? Not yet. They still gotta get a first down, I think. Unless they did, and the red zone is just not showing it. Browns haven't won just yet, to the best of my knowledge. Now they're virtually like they'd have to completely bite the dust at this point. But I mean it's possible. I mean, like, the Browns offense has not been good today, and Aaron Rodgers Hail Marys are a thing. So I wouldn't say it's over just yet. Wilson's gonna catch the pass from slant pass from Jacoby Brissett, and Bengals defense just completely forgets how to play football there. That's good. Titans up 26-20 over the Saints, and Tyler Shuck's going to throw it up, and he's got him, man. Damn. Woo, that's a big play by Tyler Shuck. Trey McBride is going to get about 5-yard gain there to the outside. Tyler Shuck's got it in the end zone. Saints tied it up. Saints took the lead 27-26, and the Titans are trailing by a point. Still got 6:22 left to go in the game, but damn. After this game, I'm probably going to go to Mikey's stream and see what we can do there. But all right, 1st and 10 for the Browns. Shadur is going to hand the ball off. It's a flag immediately. I think it's going to be a false start. Jacoby Brissett is getting rushed pretty badly and gets sacked. He had 51 there, who was the one who was who couldn't quite get to him. It was Isaiah Foskey. Couldn't quite get to him, but luckily, the rest of the team managed to clean that one up. So 1st and 10, Dylan Sampson gets a 5-yard run to the Pittsburgh 15. Oh, no, to the Pittsburgh 20? I'm so confused. Oh, no, okay, so yeah, they got the ball deep in Steelers territory. So yeah, the game basically is over, because they're probably just going to kick a field goal, and that'll be pretty much it, unless Aaron Rodgers gets a touchdown. But anyway, it's going to be 2nd and 5, and the Steelers are going to take their first time out with 1:53 left to go. And all I got to say is, ha-ha! Bitch-ass stool bitches. Steelers. Schittsburg. Go Ravens. Go Ratbirds. Hope y'all dirty-ass Ratbirds, lose in the first round, but, knock the Steelers out of the playoffs before you get there. Steelers still have all 3 timeouts. Well, now they only have 2 timeouts. Be for real, the way we've collapsed, we'll finish 7 and 10. You're playing in the NFC South, man. All right, it's going to be another handoff, and he goes nowhere with that, so it's going to be like 3rd and 5. Might even have lost a yard. Might even be 3rd and 6. Don't worry, Mark. We will blow out the Dolphins for you next week. Yep. I don't really honestly think they care about what happens to the Dolphins next week. Probably not. Usually with the Dolphins, it's a close game. Yeah, if it's a meaningless game, though, like, who really knows? Love the Dolphins to win next week, but I doubt it. Lose, Pats lose. Yeah. 13 minus 6 equals 7. That's true. That is correct. Jaguars up 20-17 on the Colts, apparently. Colts just got a first down, though, so that game's coming down to the wire. That game is coming all the way down to the wire. All right, let's see. 3rd and 6. Can the Browns get a first down here and put this game in the books? All right. Answer is no. They get about a 1-yard run on the play, and the Steelers are going to take their final timeout. Browns are going to wind up with a field goal attempt here. And we're going to see if Aaron Rodgers can pull off the Hail Mary magic. That would suck because I don't believe in the Browns at all to pull an overtime win out with the way their offense has been today. Because Shadur Sanders does not appear to be doing a whole lot on that offense. All right, well, back to the Bengals game. 1:56 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Cardinals have the ball at the 18-yard line. Jacoby Brissett falls back. He's getting rushed, and he's going to throw it up, and that is caught for a touchdown. Oh, boy. Trey McBride gets it in the end zone. Well. Hey, maybe they'll go for 2. Maybe they'll keep the dream alive. It's 37-13. Tyson Anderson just got completely worked on that one, man. Damn. There's the garbage time touchdown. That's what I'm saying. They could. I thought they were going to get a touchdown before this and then a garbage time touchdown, but who knows? Now is when I need Myles Garrett to break the record. There you go. All right, kick is up, and that is good. So the Cardinals get 14, and the blowout looks less insane, but it's still a pretty huge blowout. This is the team we should have gotten all fucking year, man. That's the sad part of it. Seahawks have the ball at 2nd and goal with 3:20 left to go in the game, and they're up 20-10, so this game's pretty much over. Panthers keep them out of the end zone on that play, though. It's good for them. Go Browns! Go Clowns! Hope you clown on them. Hope you clown on those Steelers. Schittsburg bullshit. Keep them out of the playoffs. That way they can be miserable with us. Except the difference is you're probably losing your quarterback. Although you never know. Never know. Jaguars might have just gotten a big game-winning play over the Colts. All right, 3rd and goal. Let's see what the Seahawks do here. All right, Darnold's going to hand the ball off, and he gets out of it, and that's a touchdown, and that's pretty much going to be all she wrote for the Carolina Panthers. So the Seahawks take a 26-10 lead pending the extra point. And that's pretty much, that's 3 scores right there with 3 minutes left to go. So it's pretty much over. Now let's see what Aaron Rodgers can hopefully not do here. Come on, Clowns. With a 13-6 lead, all they got to do is keep him out of the end zone here. 1:40 left to go. Steelers are out of timeouts. And they're getting the ball at the 35-yard line. So I guess the kickoff didn't go so well for the Browns. Aaron Rodgers, shotgun snap, rolls back, throws, and that's caught. Stays in bounds, so that clock's running. They don't care. They're probably happy to let the clock run because, even though it's the Browns, just in case, you'd probably try to run the clock out on them. All right, Rodgers throws, caught, and he gets out of bounds on that, so it's about a 5-yard gain. 1:19 left to go. But I don't think the clock's really a factor here. The clock's really not a factor because the Browns they're not going to run out of time. The Browns just need to keep him out of the end zone. That's all they got to do. And that might have not been a catch, actually. He might have been out of bounds before he secured that. And yeah, they're calling that out of bounds. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 now. So, like I said, all the Browns got to do is keep them out of the end zone. If you keep them out of the end zone, you pretty much got the game wrapped up. You know, pending like a muffed kickoff or something. Or a fumbled kneel down snap. God, that would suck. And my stream's buffering, so I don't even know what's happening right now. That sucks. Alright. 1st and 10, Rodgers from the 21-yard line. So that's not good. They must have gotten a big play. He's going to throw it up, and that's caught by, I think, Pat Freiermuth. And, oh boy. 45 seconds left, and the clock's moving. But the Steelers are in the red zone. They got the ball at the 10-yard line. That's not good. Oh, no. Rodgers throws, caught, and, no, okay. He only gets the ball to about the 7-yard line. Browns just got to hold for 2 more plays, man. 2 more plays, and you're good. So, 2nd down, 3rd down, so 3 more plays, because they're going to go for it on 4th down for sure. Got to hold for 3 more plays, man. If you can hold for 3 more plays, you win the game. But if you let them get in, all right. And the Bengals are just kneeling on it. Game's over. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to focus on this Browns game now. So the final score of this Bengals-Cardinals game will be 37-14. Now, there's still a few more kneel downs that need to happen, but Bengals get the win. Meaningless, but they get it. Rodgers throws, and that is almost intercepted by the Browns in the end zone. Oh, man. Oh, man, almost intercepted. That would have been huge. Yeah, man. He's so close. That was so close. Oh, no. Is that Greg Newsome? Because he's not on the team anymore. I don't even know who that is. Greg Newsome got traded, right? 3rd and goal. Keep him out from the 7-yard line. It's Denzel Ward, by the way, who dropped the interception. Rodgers throws, and that is knocked away, all right? 4th down. Come on. Stop him here. If you stop him, you win. If you stop him, you win. Come on, Browns. The only reason I want the Steelers to beat the Browns is because that opens up the door for John Harbaugh to be canned. What are you, a Ravens fan? Arizona is so bad. Yeah, they're pretty bad. That's why I said we were going to blow them out. I knew we were going to blow them out. Looks like we're done kneeling the ball, so we are officially at the final of this game. Bengals win. Bengals win big. Now, again, this is the team we should have gotten this year. Rodgers winds up, throws, and that is no good! No flags! And the Browns are going to win. 17 seconds left. But it's going to be a turnover on downs. And all they got to do is just successfully kneel the ball. Which, knowing the Browns, who knows. But, yeah. So it is going to be for the division next week between the Steelers and the Ravens. Pending a disastrous failed attempt at doing something else here. So I was wrong. The Browns game is actually lasting slightly longer than the Bengals game. Now this Colts game is a thing right now. So I'll switch over to that in a sec. But they're still before the 2-minute warning. Rodgers calling for pass interference, but didn't get it. So the Browns gonna win this ball game. Told y'all they would. Victor knee. Let's go. Bengals were so close to making that man. With the way this division is, man, that's what I'm saying. All right, and the Browns kneel it down. That is officially it. And the Steelers are going to fall to, what is that, 9-7, I believe. Steelers going to fall to 9-7. And it could fall to 9-8 next week with a loss to the Ravens. And the Ravens would win the division, which for me I'm just happy for the Steelers to be out of it. All right. Good week of football so far. Trevor Lawrence on 3rd and 11 is going to throw, and that's going to be about a yard short, I think. He did connect with Myers on that play, but it's going to be 4th down. Yep, he caught that. Definitely did. Game's over, Browns. It is over now. It's officially over now. That came close, though. That was so ridiculously close. Ooh, big play by the Buccaneers. Damn. They might pull off a miracle. 54 seconds left to go. And Baker's going to scramble out to the left, and he throws. That's a touchdown. So with 50 seconds left to go in the game, the Buccaneers are 3 points away from pulling back and having a shot here. Shuck's going to hand the ball off. And that's going to be a run. And, oh, he's gone. Saints going to win. There you go. Saints got it done at the end of the day. 34-26. I mean, yeah, the Titans could, the Titans, it's still a single score game, like with a extra point, with 2-point conversion. But the Dolphins recovered the onside kick, though, so that's probably about it. Fire Tomlin. A lot of people are calling for it, man. I think it's stupid, but go Buffalo. At 5-9, how the hell is that considered close? 8-8, my Vikings. That is close because our division's trash, Jim. That's why. Bengals scored 40 points in 2 games in a row and lost to both games. Exactly. We were so freaking close, man. I'm disappointed. Should have been 42-3, but we still won in a blowout. Disappointed. Shut up, Richard. Disappointed. In 10 minutes from this comment, Super Tank Bowl kicks off. Well, we better get out of Dodge for that one. No, thank you. Titans are in scoring range, interestingly enough. Appears to be. 2nd and 10 with 2:23 left to go in that game. I'm not going to watch the rest of this. I'm like, once this Colts game is over, I'm going to go to Mikey's stream, catch the tail end of that. But it's the only game on right now, so Cam Ward's going to roll back. He's got a lot of pressure. He's going to throw it up to nobody, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 after that. Who you got winning the Super Tank Bowl? I don't fucking know. Probably the Giants, I guess. I don't fucking know. Who cares? Who cares? Third and 10. From the 38-yard line, Cam Ward's getting rushed, and he's going to have to roll out to his right. He's going to throw that ball away as well. It's going to be 4th and 10 now. This is it. All right. 4th and 1 for the Jaguars. Looks like they're going to go for it. Which is wild because, like, with 2 minutes left to go in the game, I'd take the field goal. But, yeah, okay. So did they take a delay of game? Oh, no, okay, they called it timeout. Okay, so they are going to, I think, take the field goal now. Like I said, I'd take a field goal. That way, you're forcing the Colts to have to get a touchdown. I think that's the move, personally. Cam Ward on 4th and 10. He's going to get out of a sack, and he's going to roll out, throws, caught, and that's going to be a first down. Throwing while he's going down like Joe fucking Burrow. And the Titans are going to pick up a first down. And they remain alive. Now they are down 8. They're going to have to get a 2-point conversion, but, feels like something that would happen to the Saints. If that game goes to overtime, dude, holy crap. All right. 4th and 1. Didn't we just watch this? I feel like we just watched this. Oh, no, okay. Okay, the Jaguars going to go for it, 4th and 1. I'd tush-push here, but I guess not. Well, so Trevor Lawrence does sneak. It's not a tush-push, but he does get the first down. So that's really huge because 1:55 left to go, and the Colts are probably going to have to take a timeout. and you're, well in field goal range here. Like, that's a huge conversion right there. So Jaguars most likely going to win this game, barring a miracle by the Colts at this point. That Lou Anarumo defense can't fucking stop anybody. Just saying. I hope the Raiders win because I hate them more. Okay. I don't really have too strong feelings about either team, frankly. Holy shit, what a play. What happened? So anyway, it's going to be a handoff for the Jaguars and not really a whole lot there. I enjoyed rubbing that salt into Squealer's chats. Like to the fucking Browns, dude. To the fucking Browns. 4th and goal, and Aaron Rodgers just misfires. Sucks to suck, Steelers. Can't wait for you to be right there on the same couch as us. Talking about a bunch of garbage about us. Can't wait for you to be on the same couch this offseason. You'll be like, we went 9-8. Mike Tomlin has a losing record. Also hasn't won a playoff game in like a decade or something like that. Y'all used to love to talk about that with Marvin Lewis. Just saying. Your success doesn't matter because you never won a playoff game. Well, look where you're at, Steelers. Another handoff, about a 1-yard gain, and so that clock's just going to keep ticking. Helps that the Colts have 0 timeouts left. So the Jaguars are going to be happy probably just to let this run down to like 30 seconds left if they don't get a first down. All right. Well, I think they're focused on this Jaguars-Colts game, which I don't blame them. I already got that one up. I think I'd rather have, personally, I'd rather have the Saints game just because I already have the Jaguars game up. But, ooh, that's a tackle for a loss by the Colts, so they're at least going to force the Jaguars into a field goal situation here. So, a touchdown would win it as long as, and also they could miss the field goal, and then a field goal at least ties it and takes it to overtime. So, if there's even a remote semblance of a chance here for the Colts, that was the way to ensure it. 4th and 9, and they're going to let this run down to about 20 seconds before I don't know. Are they going to take the delay of game? Nope, they're going to snap it. Kick is up, and that is, just barely good, but he got it. All right, and the Jaguars are going to take the 23-17 lead. Steelers lost. Ravens still in the playoffs. Well, they're not in the playoffs. They got to beat the Steelers, but yeah, you can beat the Steelers next week. If the Browns can fucking beat them, then you guys probably don't need Lamar Jackson to beat them. So hell yeah, go Ravens. Go kick the Steelers' asses. Go do it. Let's go. Hello, Luger. Hello, Luger. How you doing, Luger? All right. See if I can get this Saints game. 2 minutes left to go in that one. Saints are up 8 points. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, let's see what we got here. I think the Saints have the ball because the Titans have their defense on the field. 1:53 left to go. And the Jaguars are going to kick that one for a touchback. The Colts are going to have 18 seconds to get a touchdown here. Now, if they get a touchdown, they probably win. But, again, 18 seconds. Did Jermaine Pratt get a touchdown? Man. They're really trying to make him feel good over there in Indy. But he basically just went to the same situation as the Bengals. The difference is you got Daniel Jones as your future. We got Joe Burrow. How'd that work out for you, Jermaine? I don't know. I still love Jermaine Pratt for ending our playoff drought, but I do feel like he definitely quit on the team this offseason and clearly doesn't appear to have really worked out so well in his favor. All right, the Saints are actually punting, interesting enough. So the Titans will have one chance to try to get this done. Interesting. Well, once this Jaguars game is over, I'm going to go over to Mikey's chat. All right, the punt is away. And that's going to bounce. And, it's going to be returned. It's going to be not super far, but down to about the 31-yard line. So they're going to have decent field goal position. Or decent field position, not field goal. Field goal doesn't do anything for them here. They got to get a touchdown and potentially send it to overtime. Squealers chats are so broken I can't even get a rise out of them with high-quality trolling. Gotta love it. I think the Ravens may beat the Steelers because DK is suspended. That's huge. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal because I figured, I didn't think that Ravens were going to beat the Packers, but they did. So it's over. It's over. I mean, it's not over. They still got to, the Ravens got to beat them, but, DK being suspended. Now, the only thing is, Lamar might not play. But then again, with the playoffs on the line, he might play. I wouldn't be shocked if Lamar Jackson played, even if there are concerns, even if there is, a rift going on between him and the team. Cam Ward's going to scramble around, tries to throw, has to throw that one out of bounds. 2nd and 10. 4 seconds left to go. Can Phillip Rivers pull off the miracle? He's got the ball at the 48-yard line, but this is be like an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary. But we're gonna see if they get the Hail Mary. If not, Jaguars win. Cam Ward takes a shotgun snap. He's going to throw, and that's caught for about 8 yards. So that's going to be 3rd and 2 now. Phillip Rivers, 2 seconds left. 0 is on the clock. This is it. He throws it up, and that gets to the end zone, but it is intercepted by the Jaguars, and the Jaguars win. All right, that's it. I think that's it for me. Bengals win in a blowout. Steelers lose. Still checking to see what happens with the Tennessee Titans. But other than that, we're pretty much gone. Is Mikey streaming? I don't even see Mikey up. Oh, here he is. Okay, found him. All right. I'm out of here, y'all. I'll leave y'all.